Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Ask Me Any Singapore Stock Session, AMAS Singapore edition. If you guys can see and hear me, I think some of you have already joined us and you're early. Thank you so much. Just type a GM for good morning so I can acknowledge all of you before we begin today's AMAS session. Right? Let me know. Right? We have let's see. Good morning as well. Hi, Cheng Ting. Good morning, Glenn. Good morning, Vincent. Morning as well. Let's see. Hi, Yatri. Good morning, Karen. All right. Good morning. Can buy IFAST as well. Some of you are typing the name of the stocks, right? Okay. Very good. Later we'll come to that. Okay. So this is working. Chi Sing. Hi, morning. Right. SK, Emily, Lawrence as well. Good morning, morning. Jolene, John, Josephine, Selston. Right. Apologies if I cannot call all your name, but I can acknowledge and definitely see all your chat messages that's flowing through. A lot of energy today. Thank you so much. That's what will keep me going for the next 1 or 2 hours, right? Okay, good. Very good. Loud and clear. Thank you so much, and you as well. Morning, Joe, as well. Okay, good. So let's get started, guys. Welcome to today's, right, Friday weekly AMAS Singapore edition. So you have been following us this year, right? Since the beginning of the year, we have started our weekly Ask Me Any Stock session, right? What is this about? Well, essentially, we go live for about 2 hours every Friday, and we cover the stocks that you guys are asking about, all right? And we alternate between the Singapore and the US market. So today will be the Singapore market. Why? Because last Friday was US. So today is Singapore. Next Friday, back to US. So alternate. So Singapore, US, right? So very simple. We'll do a quick market outlook, and then we'll quickly dive into all the stocks that you guys are asking about. I know we have quite a lot of you putting the stocks already in the chat, right? So we'll do our best. Each time, each session, we'll do, I think, cover about 15 plus stocks, right? 15 plus stocks before, at the end, that's where we'll share with you guys three, one from each of us. I have me here, Bervyn and Zee as well. So each of us will share one stock. So total 3 bonus stocks that you can put in your watch list for potentially more upside as well, right? So good morning as well, Clement. Thanks for acknowledging my team as well, Clement. Awesome, right? Yep. Me, Bervyn and Zee is here today. So let's get started. So welcome, all right? If we have never met before, my name is Joey Choy, top-tier reminder trader in Philips Securities. And I've been doing this for more than 15 years now. Pretty much my forte is in stocks, right? One of the top brokers in Philips Securities. I also conduct trainings to teach people a little bit on what I'm doing anyway, the tools that I'm using every day as well. All right, so we're going to find out a little bit more about the entire strategy. So today we do have time, guys, to break it all down for you about the 7-step checklist that we have and all that. We do have time, all right? You can attend a free webinar. We have one webinar next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. All right, attend a free webinar. Team can just place the link in the chat. All right, and that's where I will dive into the entire strategy in detail. Right, but today is just pump. Right, we just go through your stocks very quickly. All right, Ken. So that is the link in the chat. Go to click on it, and you can find out more about the entire One Good Trend strategy, which me, Bervyn and Zee, right? That's what I've created, right, from the ground up. All right, that's what I've built. And that's what have helped me come out of a $740,000 debt as well. So I'll share more in the webinar. Click on the link to learn more about it, right? Okay, so very simple, right? Let me just go ahead to get started right now. I want to introduce my team member as well, right? We have Bervyn joining me today as well. Every Friday, he's joining us, right? And Bervyn has been with me for more than 5 years now. I would say one of the top brokers under me in Philips Securities, assisting our teams, group coaching sessions for our mentees, one-on-one sessions with our mentees as well, and also assisting our team's portfolio manager running what we call a 7-figure fund management business as well, right? So Bervyn is a chartered financial analyst, CFA, right? So this is one of the highest qualification one can ever get in the banking finance field, right? And we have Bervyn joining me today. So Bervyn, maybe I can just pass on the mic to you to share a little bit of yourself for today. Bervyn?
All right. Thanks, Joey, for the introduction. Hey, hi, everyone. Good morning. So it's Bervyn here again. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for our weekly AMAS session. I can see that quite a few of you have placed some stocks requests in the chat, but no worries. Later, we will get to it. A little bit about myself. So yes, I would say I'm a chartered financial analyst, charter holder. So basically, what does it mean is I just spend a lot of time looking at the economy, looking at companies' fundamentals, but I also personally believe that fundamentals and technicals have to go hand in hand together, right? You cannot be buying a fundamentally good stock on a consistent downtrend, right? You'll be losing money day on day and day. like that. So I think that's where Joey 1GT framework actually comes in to actually complement, your fundamental and your technical analysis. It's basically, I will not say a shortcut. I would say it is a very, very good roadmap to your trading. All right. So let's see what we have today. So I'll pass the time back to Joey to introduce Zee next. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Bervyn. All right, guys. Well, I think what Bervyn mentioned is very, very important as well, very true as well. So I think most people they focus on fundamentally strong stocks, and that's what Bervyn is good as well. I mean, he's a CFA, right? So fundamentally strong stocks, no problem, nothing wrong, good, go ahead. But if you tell me the stock is fundamentally strong, wow, target price, voila, intrinsic value, blah 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 blah. But then on the charts, right, it looked like crap. I mean, it's like going down every other day. We got like 5 bearish signals coming out on my indicator. Then I think it's okay. You carry on now, right? We probably don't want to buy a fundamentally strong stock that's going down every other day. And that looks like, bearish on the charts. Does it make sense? We want both of it to be good, all right? And that's the reason why we have the one good trend strategy, the 1GT Pro indicator that later we'll be using to analyze your stocks so that you can make much more sense of what to do, right? Whether to get in, to wait, to don't do anything, to sell, right? To buy. That's what we can do. All right. Okay. Now let me go to introduce another of my team member joining me today, and that will be Zee. Right. Zee is also one of the top brokers under me in Phillips Securities, more than 5 years now under me, assisting our group coaching sessions with our graduates, our one-on-one sessions with our private mentees as well, and also assisting our team's portfolio manager with the portfolio management business as well, right? So Zee is what we call an expert in anything to do with charting, technical analysis, candlestick, price action, right? Whatever, right? She's the go-to expert. I do consult with her as well, all right? And of course, she's very well versed with the entire one good trend strategy, right? She is a CMT, chartered market technician. Basically, is the best in the charting one, right? Even better than me, right? So let me pass on the mic to Zee to share a little bit on herself today. Zee.
All right, thanks, Joey. Hi, everyone. My name is Zee. Nice to meet you guys. I think see a lot of familiar names back here again. I think a lot of you guys are already a client of us under Phillips Security. That's great, right? So yeah, for those who are new here and who are here for the first time, I'm a big fan of charts and trends, right? I've been looking at charts during my free time at work and things like that. So yeah, but the thing is, when looking at charts, right, I don't really like to overcomplicate things. Too many things on the chart, too many indicators, and then that's where you might get a bit lost, right? So the thing is that the 1GT Pro indicator, right, which we will be going through later on, is something that's pretty simple and it is very intuitive, right? With just a click of a button, you can actually very quickly see if there's any bullish or bearish signal together with the trend, and you complement it, with the 1GT 7-point checklist and things like that. That's where you will get more confident when you come with think about your trading plan and whether to even look at the stock or not, right? So that is something that we hope that we can add value to you guys with the 1GT Pro indicator. And yeah, without further ado, right, I think we will try to cover as many stocks as possible, and I'll pass the time back over to Joey to start today's session.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Zee. So let's get started right now, guys. Just a quick disclaimer as usual, all right? This entire session, all our live stream is just for education purposes only. So please do your own due diligence, not really to ask you to buy or sell anything or not to do anything or not to buy or not to sell. But it's share with you guys a little bit on the strategy that we're using, the tools that we're using, all right? I share with you guys the process, the framework. You make the call yourself, right? Whether you want to buy or sell or do anything you want. Right, Ken? So let's get started right now. And maybe what we can do is to go ahead to cover, all right, the STI, since we're talking about the Singapore market today, all right? So just do me a favor, just type an M for market. If you want me to cover the Straits Times Index market, the Singapore market, type M for market, let me know. All right, M for market, right? I think some of you are already typing in the name of the stocks that you want covered. Wow, very good. I think we have quite a lot of stocks. So give me some time later to go through and pick the very first one for today. All right, M. Thank you so much, Ben, Alex, Victor, Alan, Andy, Gloria, David, market. Okay, very good. Let's go to cover the markets very quickly on the entire STI. All right. And just one thing I want to add, guys, is that when you type the name of the Singapore stocks that you want covered later, right? Do us a favor. I mean, give us a bit of a context. I think that's what we say every single Ask Me Any Stock session, right? Give us a bit of context, right? So like if you're looking at the Centurion or DBS or let me see, CNMC, right? Very good. But give us a bit of context. I think some of you have give a bit of context, right? You bought at what price? You bought last week, last month, you're looking to buy, looking to sell, blah, blah, blah. That would be better so that when we kind of like analyze the stock, it's a bit more customized, right? More to suit you, because if not, we have no idea what you want to do. Like you want to buy or sell, also I don't know, right? Or maybe you bought like 10 years ago, I also don't know, right? So give us a bit of context. That's where we'll give a bit more priority for that particular, stock that you put in the chat, right? Since you have taken the effort to give us more context rather than just type one name over there, lah. Okay, very good. Let's take a look at the market right now. The STI Straits Times Index. So you can see right now, STI is 4,438 points, right? 4438 live right now. So I think not too bad, right? Over the past few weeks, we've seen strength coming back in the STI again, all right? And I think that was mainly led by the banks, right? So in case you guys don't know, right, the STI is made up of 30 over Singapore constituent stocks, right? But the banks alone, right, the DBS, the OCBC, the UOB, this alone, right, accounts for about 50%, right? 50% weightage of the entire STI. So if you see the banks pushing up by quite a fair bit, that's where the STI could push up as well, quite strongly. And I would say that the main reason why, one of the key reasons why we've seen quite a strong push over the past 1 week would be due to the performance of DBS. All right, DBS have surged up by quite a bit. DBS alone accounts for about 26%, all right, in terms of weightage of the entire STI. So DBS pushing up, that's why STI have pushed up as well. So that was some of the, news specifically to do with the STI constituents. All right, of course, we do have some news coming out as well in terms of the, equity market development program. Just share with you guys some of the news focus things that came out over the past few weeks. So you can see right over here, right? Business Time, SGX to sharpen focus on the ecosystem initiatives to sustain the equity market development growth, right? So those of you who have been following me, I talked about this since June, July, that the MAS has came out with what we call the Equity Market Development Program, right? To revive, right? The entire market, the Singapore market, the SGX, right? And that's where we started to see a lot of strength in the market. They have earmarked $5 billion in funds to asset managers, fund managers, right? To kind of like, allocate their funds into Singapore equity. So I think they've, out of this $5 billion, $1.1 billion has already been earmarked and allocated to 3 fund managers. I think Fullerton is one of them, Fullerton Fund Management. We have Avanda, we have JP Morgan, right? And this is slowly starting to flow into the markets, right? In fact, later I'm going to share with you guys about this new Fullerton fund called Value Up Fund that just been launched recently, all right, and investing in Singapore equities, right? But let's take a look at what the SGX CEO Loh Boon Chye has to say, right? So to maintain the momentum of the recent uplift in the local equities, right, the Singapore Exchange will focus on expanding its product offerings, more IPOs, more products, Singapore depository receipts and all that, right? So through coordinated efforts, right, such as the Equity Market Development Program, Mr. Loh pointed out that the institutional capital is being directed into Singapore equities, right? So it's not just about earmarking like 1.1 billion or up to $5 billion and then getting these fund managers to buy and to manage, but it's about curating this portfolio such that more investors, more institutional investors, more retail investors, traders, right, can get into this fund as well. And that will all flow through and build more positive sentiment in the entire Singapore market, right? So you can see right over here, increasing investor interest and broadening participation beyond just the large cap stock. So I know people are always looking at DBS, like OCBC, all the big caps, right? But actually what has done really, really well would be the smaller caps, the mid caps over the past 3 to 4 months. Very strong, not 20, 30%, but we look at 50, 60, 80, 100% also have, all right? Later we look at it, all right, Ken? So that's what has been happening, all right? And you can see right over here, Mr. Loh acknowledged that the review group effort, all right, this whole equity market development program have supported the equity market, the uplift, but he stressed that this is only the beginning. All right, only the beginning. Adding that what matters is sustaining the momentum, right? So they're looking at more IPOs and all that. I think that's what is kind of like fueling the entire Singapore market. I think, of course, the US has pushed up. Singapore have kind of like followed through from that. But I think for the Singapore market, mainly is due to this revival program that's still ongoing. They're still kind of like earmarking or choosing fund managers, more fund managers to deploy the balance of the $5 billion of fund, all right, that will be placed in this program, right? So you can see right over here, just recently, right, Fullerton Fund Management launches finally, right, the first retail fund under the MAS 5 billion, as I mentioned, right? $5 billion, right? 1.1 billion was earmarked the 3 asset managers. Fullerton is one of them, right? And that's where it launches its first retail fund, something like a unit trust whereby you can buy, all right? Even on the trading account where I'm a broker in Philips Securities on the Poyos platform, you can actually go and buy this fund as well that was launched, all right? So you can see, right? Fullerton Fund Management has launched the first retail fund, right, under MAS program to boost liquidity and investor interest. And the launch comes 3 months after Fullerton was selected, right? So I mentioned in July they were selected, right? One of the 3, right? Fullerton, Avanda, and JP Morgan, right? So they were selected. Finally, it's ready, all right? And they are one of the 3 fund managers to receive 1.1 billion, all right? As I say, 1.15, they'll be balanced about 3.9 billion. Still haven't yet. That one, they're still choosing more fund managers to curate the fund, all right? So you can see right over here, $5 billion equity market development program. So this fund is called Fullerton Singapore Value Up Fund. They will invest exclusively in Singapore listed securities, right? Not just the big caps and the banks and no, as I say, right? Covering small, mid, and even the large cap stocks, right? Including IPO, secondary listing with a portfolio of 20 to 40 companies. Does it make sense? All right. So it's not just a few $1 million. This is, as I say, $1.1 billion, right? And they're creating more investors, more institutional investors, more retail as well. All right. And that's exactly what's happening, right? That's where we are seeing a lot of positive sentiment flowing into these funds and so into the Singapore equities, because once there are more funds investing in Singapore equities, generally we're seeing, just more, bullishness in the prices pushing higher with more buying pressure overall. All right, so you can read it on your own, right, in terms of this fund, but that is pretty much some of the news that came out in terms of the entire Singapore market. All right, okay, let's take a look at the STI right now, right? 4,435. So I've been talking about the STI. In fact, since like last year, we have been in a very strong longer term trend. All right, look at the red and the blue line. This is what we call the 100 days moving average pointing up. The blue line, the 200 days moving average, is pointing up, right? So they've been pointing up since since last year. Also, in case you're still thinking whether the trend is up or down, it's actually since last year, very long already, up already, right? The longer term trend is been up. Of course, in the short term, we did see a couple of selling, right? That was in April, March. Trump introduced the reciprocal tariffs, right? PAM. The 20 days moving average that represents the short term trend turned down. Same thing over here in August last year, we sold off. So even though the longer term trend is up, the short term trend can be down one. All right, so it's normal, right? It's fine, right? That's how the market moves, right? But if it goes down, it becomes more attractive. We can wait for what we call a reversal, whereby both trends align, then we can start to get in again, right? So right now you can see obviously the green 20 days moving average line is still pointing up. It was up since June, July, right? They announced the equity market development program. We broke the resistance, flat a bit, up a bit, flat a bit, up a bit. Now I think starting to point up already over the past 2 weeks, right? So that is when both the longer term trend, short term trend is aligned. What we could do right now, right, is that we can go ahead to get more confirmations from the entire one good trend strategy. So very simple. Let me go to turn on the 1GT Pro indicator right over here. So as I say, right, today I don't have time to share with you all the different checklists, the different points, the different box, right? But we do have a 7-point checklist whereby if you get 4 or more points out of these 7, that's where we are more convicted, right, for the trade, right? That's where there's a higher odds of winning, right? So you want to find a bit more, you can attend a free webinar. I think you just place the link in the chat game on last time. I think it's probably hidden somewhere at the top, right? So attend the free webinar next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. That's where I'll break it down for you even more, right? And then of the entire one good trend strategy. So now let's take a way to turn on what we call the first box, the bullish and bearish signal. So now this is the STI, guys. This is the market. It's not a stock, it's a market, the STI. Does it make sense, right? So we are able to turn it on any asset classes, right? Even the market, you can see this is the market, not a stock. You can't really buy the STI. You could buy the STI ETF that tracks the STI, but you can't buy the STI. Does it make sense, right? But the point here is that we are able to turn it on any asset classes, not just stocks, right? Singapore stocks, US stocks, Hong Kong stocks, whatever, anything, right? And get an opinion in seconds based on the bullish or maybe even bearish signals that are shown, right? So let's take a look at it right over here. You can see, right? Now you can see some green color, some red color stuff coming out, right? That's what we call the signals coming out. So you can see, right? It's not always green all the way, because sometimes you might have a bearish signal. That was in April, right? Trump introduced tariff, you've got a bearish signal, it starts selling down, right? But then a bullish signal came in, and there we go, all the way up. The reversal happened, right, from April all the way until the bearish signal came out. About 15%, about 2 months plus, right? Pretty good. All right, bearish signal, right, came down a little bit. However, the green line was still pointing up, and the next week, we got a new 1GT bullish signal coming on. That was in August, 13 August, about 2 months back. We got a bullish signal, consolidated, and finally we are starting to see the upwards move. So not too bad, right? This most recent bullish signal on the 13th of August to be exact, right? It seems like it's still playing out, all right? It seems like, we're kind of like still pushing up as well. I mean, as another confirmation, we've even broken what we call the 4,400. I think that would be what we call a new higher support level for now. 4,400, maybe all the way to 4,500, maybe like what we call a $1,000 range. That is pretty much what the STI is doing, right? So we've seen a bit of profit taking over the past 3 days because we have pushed up last week, all the way up from 4,003 to 4,460, 70 like that, right? So I think it's healthy. It's healthy to see a bit of a consolidation, a little bit of profit taking as we consolidate sideways for now. Right, we are down, maybe up a bit, down a bit, consolidate, and before you know it, right, pump. If it breaks the 4,005, great. That's where we could see the next higher phase. All right, so that would be for STI. Overall, it looks still quite bullish. Longer term trend intact, short term trend, uptrend intact as well. Bullish signal in play. As long as we stay above that 4,400 level, I think there could still be potentially more upside for the market, right? Gradually, as more and more funds flow into the Singapore market, right, from the MAS equity market development program that I've just shared with you guys just now, right? And of course, as more and more fund managers like Avanda, like JP Morgan come out with their fund, and then they allow investors to invest in their fund, that is where it could be another boost as well. Does it make sense? All right, so that would be for Singapore Straits Times Index, right? Okay, very good. Now let's go through, all right, all the stocks that you guys are asking in the chat right now, right? So let me just go ahead to pick one. I've not seen it yet, but let me just go to pick one right now. And before we pick today's very first stock, right? Let's see. Wow, so many guys. So you can see, guys, there's like, oh my God, I think like about 50, 60 over Singapore stocks already in the chat, right? So let me just go through very quickly. I try to pick maybe the first one, all right? Okay, maybe I can pick the first one, all right, by, let's see, right? We have Alex Liang, right? Good morning, guys. Good morning, Alex. Welcome. Well, good to see you here. All right, let's see what you ask, right? Any hope for what? For Centurion? Any hope for Centurion? LOL. Bought it at 174 and 1.53. Thank you so much for giving me a bit of context, huh? And it doesn't seem to have the strength to climb. Okay, let's find out. Centurion, right? Let's see whether it got strength or no strength, huh? Okay. Centurion Corporation Limited. Let's take a look at it. And let's. Oops. Okay, so this is Centurion, right? Right over here. You guys can see this is Centurion. I would say that, okay, so you can see, right? This is a Singapore stock, Centurion. I think they're doing all the accommodations, kind of facilities as well, a bit of real estate as well. But I've really turned on what we call the bullish and bearish signals for Centurion. You can see once I turn it off, we can take a look at the trend in terms of the moving averages. Very simple, right? Very simple stuff right over here. But to save time, what we can do, as I say, for any asset classes, we can just turn it on, pump, and you can see in 2 seconds whether are there any bullish or bearish signals. So let's take a look at what Alex is saying. You bought it at 174. Oops. That means you bought it over here. That means like last week or something, is it? Because this like about, okay, maybe 174 and 153. 153, that means you bought it when it's going down again, is it? Maybe last week again. That one, actually, by right should not buy. Let me know, guys. I mean, what do you think about Centurion right now? Is it more up or more down? Type U for up, D for down. Right? U for up, D for down. Let me know. Let's help Alex over here and see, based on what you see over here, is it more up or more down? Type in the chat. U for up, D for down. Let me know. All right, let's see. Ellen, down. All right. Energized boot retracing. Wait for the opportunity. Down. Jesse, down. Colleen as well. Thank you so much. Down. Thanks, VC John down. So I think all of you can see. Hey, Alex, not I say one. They say one. Alex also is a bit more down than now. I mean, why are you all saying that it's down? Well, let me pull out Alex's comment. So Alex, you can see that we had. I mean, if you ask me like in May and June, then I'll say not too bad lah. Maybe we got a palm, right? 1 GT bullish signal. The green line, the 20 days moving average line. Flat a bit, then boom, up, then all the way up. How many percent? I mean, from here to here, we got bearish signal, 45% in 2 months. Not too bad lah, right? Maybe over here, you ask me, not too bad also, right? It was in like September last year. In fact, this was one of the stocks that we've covered since last year, all right? Very strong uptrend in the longer term. We came down a bit, we got bullish signals, all the way up. Here, how many percent? All right, maybe another 50%, all right? So here, 44 lah. All right, from here to here, 44%. All right, here to here again, another 49%. So 49, 50%, 44%. Every time we get bullish signals, it starts moving up, plus a few other confirmations. Not too bad, all right? But let's just zoom in to what has happened over the past few months, right? We got, I mean, going to bluff yourself lah. I mean, this is not green, it's red color. We got a 1 DT bearish signal coming out, and that was in July, right? In July. And then we got another one coming as well, like in September, 26 September, maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, all right? 26 September. And you can see the green line. So I think Alex, maybe you got in around here. So one thing is that we try, I mean, we don't want to go against the trend, right? I know you might tell me that, hey, but Joey, the longer term trend is up. I look at the red and blue line is up. Agree, right? It's up. I mean, the longer term trend is up, no issue. That one, I'm fine with it, right? But don't you agree that the short term trend is like down already? Like, I mean, the green line is pointing down, right? I mean, I can show you a bit, right? So the green line, I mean, it was like flat, and the green line, the 20 days moving average, is down. So the short term trend is down, even though the long term trend is up, no problem, but the short term trend is down. So plus we got not one but two bearish signals, right? So why you want to rush, right? So by right should not have bought. So I'm not too sure where you bought it, right? I think you tell me 174 plus 153. So maybe like last month or then maybe last week you got in the beginning, went down a bit more. So we try not to buy when we have multiple confirmations that it is coming down. Does it make sense, Bob? All right. So I think that, Alex, that's what I think could have been done better. All right. Then you might ask me, Alex, hey, when should I buy? Wait until when? All right. Good question. All right. Then let's find out what could we be waiting for to think about getting in. Right. So I would say that right now, if you're looking to get in, very simple. What we want to see is that we want to see maybe a new 1 GT bullish signal coming out. I mean, whether it come out here or here or here, I don't know. I haven't come out yet, right? But of course, once it come out, I will know. We can set an alert such that if it comes out, then we can be alerted to think about getting in. And when that happens, good, because the longer term trend is up, right? So actually it could be a good opportunity, right? To get in on the more attractive prices, slightly cheaper, right? If there are signs of a reversal coming in. Does it make sense, Mark? All right. If there are signs of a reversal, not anyhow, not now, because I mean now no signs yet, right? But once there are signs of a reversal, we see a new 1 GT bullish signal. That's one confirmation coming back, right? If we see the green line that obviously is pointing down right now, maybe stop pointing down and maybe like flatten a little bit, and then maybe just start to point up a bit, like over here or like over here as well. You can see, right? Flatten out a little bit, start to point up, flatten out a little bit, start to point up, bullish signals. That is where we could lead. All right, it could lead what we call the reversal or the way back up. And that's what we're looking for in terms of a firm confirmation, right? Reversal to get back in, right? But if not, then I think you want to be patient, right? You want to be patient. All right. So Alex, I'm not saying that, I mean, based on your question, any hope for Centurion? Well, in the short term, unfortunately, we could be still seeing a bit of weakness. All right. In the short term, we might push down. I think if the 140 is a support level right now, if the 140 were to give way, we may go to 130. I don't know, maybe to 120. Right? But hopefully that holds great. Consolidate for a while, stabilize. Is a higher support. We see the 20 days moving average, the green line flatten, maybe point up. Good. A new bullish signal coming out, even better. That could be where your hope will eventually become a no hope, but eventually become a positive thing, right? Become reality, right? So hopefully the hope will turn to reality, right? So, but one thing about stock market, guys, is that we don't want to hope, right? Time to get out, we get out. Time to get in, you get in. Don't need to hope, don't think, don't need to second guess or over, second guessing and leave it to guesswork, all right? No, right? You just want to focus on the plan, all right? When you get in, you focus on the clarity that you need and what to do when whatever happens, right? Whenever you get any confirmations that we have. All right, Ken. So that is for Centurion, the very first stock for today. So Alex, I hope that helps you. All right, and hope all of you are a little bit clearer as well as to what to look out for to time your entry to get back in. Now, let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next Singapore stock for today. Bervyn, all yours.
Thanks, Joey. Okay, so let's see. Somebody, I was scrolling through the messages and I saw, wow, quite a lot of requests this morning. Let's see, let's go with this. All right, okay, Vincent. Hi, good morning, Vincent. Hopefully still here, still early. Can I advise on IFAST bought at $8.9 to $8, close to $9. The stock has been moving up erratically, can continue to hold or not. Okay, so I think there's quite a few of you asking about IFAST as well. Now I saw one more. Here we go. So Vincent bought at 8.92. William, good morning. So you bought at 9.62. Okay, so you see, at different levels, there are different buyers. All right, so what do we do for each situation? So Vincent, just to answer your question a little bit, the stock moves erratically. Why? It's because particularly for IFAST, their outstanding share float is lower than the average counter in Singapore. So with lower share float, that means each move or each at each price there is lesser buyers or sellers, so it's quite easy to move up in a few beats. Okay, so that's why sometimes you realize that hey, it's suddenly moving very, very quickly. It's because there's a big buyer or big sellers that's pushing or taking up different price levels very quickly. All right, so I think this morning or most recently, we actually saw that hey, there is a 1GT bullish signal that actually came in for IFAST right here on the 7th of October. But before we dive into that, let's look at the longer term situation. I think it came up from a very, very good level. I mean, from $6, we actually see buyers actually came back sometime in July. You know, it started to pick up. We see a 1GT bullish signal, another 1GT bullish signal coming out in the late of July as well, pushing prices very, very close to that $10 level. I think it went as high as 9.82. It managed to sustain and prices fell a little bit. So I think this is where actually Vincent actually considered to get in. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Vincent. If this is where you actually saw that hey, prices are coming down, you wanted to get in a little bit. I mean, it's completely fine, right? And we have a 1GT bearish signal coming in right there. And then I think most recently, like I mentioned, 7 October. 7 October, we had a 1GT bullish signal as prices tried to push towards that $10 level once again. So Vincent, let's see right here, okay? We have the 100 days and 200 days moving average finally crossing above each other, right? In September, the red above the blue line, good sign, right? Good sign that the longer term trend is picking up. And of course, that 20 days moving average as well. So I think to point up, let me just change this color here to green first. 20 days moving average is currently pointing up. Yes, a little bit of weakness seen this morning. I think William has actually maybe just got in yesterday, but prices have fallen a little bit. All right, so I think that is completely fine. I think we can observe that the longer term or the stronger support still remains about the $9 level. All right, the $9 level is still a very firm psychological support. At this point, you know, we may see prices rebounding from this level, but I mean, William, of course, I would have rather you got in closer towards that support, right? Maybe between $9 to $9.20. But it's okay, you already gotten in, but it is a little bit of a no man's land, no man's land. So, you know, that downside could be back towards that $9. So I think that you have to observe that there is that risk particularly still there. But for Vincent, I think you have got in close under that $9 level. I mean, maybe you had seen that there could be a breakout, and that's when you got in. I mean, so far it looks like your plan is holding up. Right? Your plan is holding up. You're sitting on a little bit of profits, maybe close to 5 to 8% profits at this point. Not too bad. But let me just turn on this trailing support for now. Turn on this trailing support, and you can see. Let's just get rid of this. You can see that that trailing support is very close to that $9 psychological level. So I think Vincent, you want to have a plan. All right, have a plan. If prices continue to hit higher towards that $10 level, great, fantastic. So this trailing support will then start to increase, right? What does this trailing support do? It is a dynamic support. Dynamic support meaning what? As prices move up, it will continue to move up. with the prices as well. So what can you do with it? You can use it as a reference point. Use it as a reference point to lock up profits, all right, to set your stop limit orders slightly under that trailing support. Why? Because this trailing support gives the stock room to breathe, right? Remember, it gives the stock room to breathe, taking into account that natural volatility of the stock, right? Taking into account natural volatility of stock. So if it gives the stock room to breathe and then the prices still break below that trailing support, I mean, surely not too good already, right? You will agree that it will give space and still break. It's better to sit out or just reduce, consider a plan to reduce that exposure as well. But I think so far for IFAST, it still looks like it's a temporary pullback. I think this morning, not too sure, we are only about 2 hours into the trading session. Maybe we can see prices stabilize a little bit and then push towards that $10 level. But is it going to happen today? I'm not too sure. But so far, it looks like for IFAST, prices are still performing rather well. Right? It's still within a larger range of 830 to that $10 level. So if that $10 level is broken, that will be considered an all-time high, right? So what do we do then? We can use a forecasting method. Just from that $9 level to the $10 level, I mean, obviously it's $1. The next upside would be towards that $11 psychological level, especially if we can see a very, very firm breakout, perhaps even another 1 GT bullish signal, making that 1 GT bullish signal. I think definitely there will be signs of momentum. But so far, I think for William, just take a look at the trailing support. May want to place a stop loss if prices break below that trailing support. But otherwise, I think 9.62 to currently 9.52. So far, it still looks like it is within the daily move of the counter. Nothing too much to worry about. I think just continue to monitor, set some alerts above that $10 level, maybe 10.05, 10.1. I think those are good levels to actually watch out for that, potential breakout or the potential next leg in the uptrend. All right, so I think William and Vincent, I think individually both you guys already have a solid plan. You have already something in mind. But I think closer towards the $10 level, maybe Vincent, if you want to take some profits, take some money off the table, completely fine as well. All right, so that is for IFAST. I'll pass the time now to Z to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you, Bervyn. Okay, so I think the next stock that I'll be covering, right, will be LHN, right? Because I saw a number of you guys was actually asking about LHN as well. Lucius, right? Lucius said, please talk about Sheng Siong Parkway Life and REIT and LHN. So maybe for now, I'll talk about LHN first, all right? And then I also saw, let me see, ET. ET is also saying LHN average to $1 should hold or wait for Hollywood to be listed. Not too sure what you mean at the last part, but the key thing is you are asking whether should hold or should wait or to cut loss or anything like that, because now prices is below your average cost price, right? And I think the last one we also have from May. May is also asking about LHN, bought at 105. Should I stop loss now? What is the make sense stop loss figure? Okay, good that you guys are actually thinking about stop loss, because the thing is, like what Joey mentioned, entering is easy, buying is easy, right? But the key thing is, the harder thing to do, right, will be, to be disciplined enough to follow your trading plan, whereby it should already include your stop loss, right? Before you buy, actually, you should already think about where is your stop loss plan, where is your target, and where is your exit, all right? So now let's take a look at LHN, right? And let's see what are some of the levels that perhaps some of you guys, right, especially the three of you who are asking about LHN, can take note of, all right? So for LHN, first thing when we look at the trend, right, longer term trend definitely still looks intact, right? The red and the blue line, both of them are actually pointing up. But I think what you guys what you guys are concerned about, right, will probably be the short term and also the recent price action that we see, right? Because short term wise, actually it was going up, then it went sideways for a bit, it went up again, but right now what we are seeing that is showing signs of it pointing down, right? 20 days moving average is pointing down, and over the past month since September, we actually saw pullback, right? In terms of price action, you see that sellers come back in very strong and push the price all the way back down, and right now we are right over here again, right? But the thing is that we are still seeing how many bullish signal? 1, 2, 3, 3 consecutive 1 GD bullish signals. Still don't have bearish signal yet, but we are already seeing the first sign that the short-term trend not so good, right? Because it is already pointing down and the price action is showing likewise, right? So let's take a look at some of the levels, right? That you know, the support levels that you should take note of, because if let's say the support level is broken, what do you think will happen? The likelihood of more selling pressure or sellers coming back will be stronger, right? So the support level, I would say immediate support level to take note as of now, right? I think would be around this 92 cents. Why I would say this 92 cents, right, is because previously, back when it was consolidating in July to October, right, you see, this was where it was a resistance, right? Prices was actually testing this level somewhere in July, unable to break above, selling pressure come back down, and then it went sideways for a bit. Right, eventually it broke above this 92 cents. We got another 1 GT bullish signal. Price went all the way up, right? And then this was where, you know, it was probably a bit concerning lah, because for you guys, because prices came back all the way down, selling pressure push it down, but it retested once again at this 92 cents, right? So this 92 cents essentially was tested at least a couple of times, right? So I would say that 92 cents right now would be the immediate support level to actually take note of, right? Especially if it breaks below this 92 cents, then not so good lah, because we might see more selling pressure returning and your 20 days moving average continue to actually point down, right? And if prices cannot hold above 92 cents, it breaks below, then potentially we might see, you know, potentially sideways movement, potentially, and the range that it could be trading at, the other support, right, would be at this, I would say around this 775 or 780, this level, right? Because likewise, this level was again tested multiple times, right, with buying pressure coming back. So I would say these two are very key support levels that perhaps you guys want to take note of and set some price alert. Okay, so to answer your questions, right, about risk management, about stop loss, one thing that I would like to show you guys, right, will be this trailing support, which Bervyn actually turned on for you guys earlier on, right? So you can see that this trailing support, right, this green line that I just turned on, right, this shaded area, like what Bervyn mentioned, when prices moves up, it goes up, it trails the prices as it goes up, right? It moves and trails the prices and go up, and you can see there are periods whereby it just goes sideways, right? It goes sideways, then it goes up again, goes sideways, right? So this actually accounts for the stock volatility rate, giving it room to breathe, right? And if in a situation whereby if you give it room to breathe, but it still break below this, and then what can we see? We will actually see a 1 GT bearish signal lah. You see right over here, right? Prices actually close and break below the trailing support, giving it room to breathe. We see a 1 GT bearish signal. So right now, it seems like prices is heading to test this horizontal support that I've just mentioned, the 92 cents. And it is also indeed very close to this trading support. So I think definitely this is one of the levels, right, that you guys might really, really want to take note of lah, because if it breaks below, we get a 1 GT bearish signal, and then that's where you might want to think about your exit strategy lah. Where would you want to get out, right? Because you would not want to continue holding on to a stock, because the thing is that when you think about trading, sometimes, you think that, okay, I want to buy into a stock, maybe I'll hold this for a couple of months, right? Maybe 1 to 3 months, but you don't do anything, you don't follow your trading plan, you don't exit. Suddenly your 1 to 3 months suddenly become 1 to 3 years. Then you're like, how come I'm holding on to this stock for so long? Short-term trade suddenly become long-term trade, right? We don't want that to happen, right? We don't want that to happen. So be disciplined enough to follow through your trading plan and your stop loss strategy, right? So now with this trailing support turn on, right? With this trailing support turn on, this is where you can actually make use of this trailing support, right? To get a gauge and get a sense of where can you place your stop loss order, right? Your stop limit order to protect your downside. Because like what I said, you already give it room to breathe, right? And then if it breaks below, not so good. But sometimes when place the stop limit order, right, we want to place a stop limit order maybe a couple of bits or maybe 2 to 3%, slightly below the trailing support to give it additional room to breathe, right? So if you give it additional room to breathe and it still breaks, then not so good, right? So to answer May and some of your questions, right, regarding the stop loss, I think what you can actually do is, you know, stop loss, the trailing support now, right, is at around this 0.980, 0.980 around here. So maybe you give it a couple of beats, right? Or maybe you see, even if like, let's say we talk about a 2% below this range, right, will be about 89 cents. Yeah, a couple of beats below the trading support, you give it additional room for it to breathe. Because if it breaks below this level, we get a 1 GT bearish signal, 20 days moving average will still point down, and potentially you might see price have more weakness heading back towards the previous support at about the 775. All right, so I hope this makes sense to you guys, right? And how do you actually use the trailing support, right? This trailing support function, right, to help you gauge on where can you actually, you know, think about your stop loss strategy. Okay, so I hope this helps. LHN for May, Lucius, and ET. All right, these are some of the levels that you can take note of. Okay, so with that, I'll pass the time back to Joey to cover the next stop.
All right, thank you so much, Z. Let's move on to the very good next one, and that would be CNMC Goldmine. I think some of you, we have a couple of you asking about CNMC. I thought, why not just cover about it right now? I think let me just pull up a comment. We have like Zoom Fin. CNMC bought at 25 cents, right? What's the long-term outlook on the chart? 25 cents. Wow, now it's $1.29. You bought at 25 cents. Right? That is like right over here. I'm not too sure whether you alerted to the 1GT bullish signal right over here. All right, yeah, indeed, we have gone up by quite a bit, right? So that is for CNMC. I'll come to the long-term outlook in a bit. Let me just put another comment on CNMC as well. All right, we have, let's see, you're asking about CNMC, right? Lam, is it too high to get in now? Looking to buy. All right, thank you so much for giving us a bit of context. So one of it is board really looking to take profit. Lam, you're looking to buy, haven't get in at 25 cents, like the other one, right? Let's see if you can find another one as well. Let's see another. Okay, John as well, right? Bought CMSC at $1.01. Not too bad. Now it's $1.29, so also make some money, right? Very good. Thanks for the call, right? Took some money off the table yesterday at 135. Awesome, right? So it came down a little bit, dropped to 127. Now it's about 129. Yeah. Is it a good idea to buy back at 120, maybe to 122? Well, let's find out. Okay, so some of you are looking to buy, some still holding, maybe looking to take some profit as well, maybe to enter even more as well, right? But now let's take a look at CNMC. And very good, right? John, you mentioned that, thanks for the call. So if you have been following me for a while, in fact, if you're a client of mine in Philips Securities, so for those of you who don't know, right, I'm a broker in Philips Securities, one of the top brokers in Philips Securities. Same thing with Bervyn and Zee as well. And we actually shared this stock by our daily WhatsApp broadcast to our clients, right? Since a couple of months back already, right? In fact, how many of you are clients of mine over here in Philips Securities? You have a trading account under me. Just type a C for client, guys. Just want to acknowledge and thank all of you as well. All right, type C for client. If you are a client of mine in Philips Securities, let me know. And you're receiving our daily ideas, market updates, private videos, and all that. Type C for client. Let me know, all right? Iris, David, Klein, Cynthia, Klein. Thank you so much, Ellen. Thanks, Gregory, for support as well. Alex, Klein, Peter, Klein. So we have quite a lot of clients over here joining us every single Friday. So for those of you who are not yet a client of mine in Philips Securities, what I mean, basically, if you do not have a trading account under me in Philips Securities, that means you are not getting my top Singapore trade ideas daily by WhatsApp, private trainings, and all the good stuff like Selston, like John, Emily, Colleen, Catherine, Emmy, Joseph, right? Basically, you're not getting any of those top ideas, right? Well, check it out, right? The link is right in the chat, right? Team can just place the link in the chat. Find out how you can become a client of mine in Philips Securities for free, and no additional cost, right? So that you can join Celia, Catherine, how to go about it. Ching, the link is right in the chat. Click on it, all right, and find out how you can come on board to get some of those ideas much faster daily, right? And CNMC Goldmine was actually one of the stocks that we shared with our clients a couple of months back, right? You can check it out, clients. And the reason is why do you want to come on board as a client? Well, as I say, right, you get some of those ideas on a daily basis, private trainings, and this is especially for you if you are trading. I mean, if you are trading, you probably need a trading account, right, to buy and sell stocks, right? So if you have a trading account somewhere and you don't get any service from your own broker, right? Nobody WhatsApp you, nobody send you any ideas, video, training, nobody call you, nobody do anything, like there's nobody right there. You probably need to call like 5 minutes, 10 minutes to reach a hotline or something, right? The link's right in the chat. Check it out. You do not pay anything more. To be 100% clear, all right? You do not pay anything more. Join all our clients over here. Link in the chat, so you can get some of those top ideas much faster than the time we do. This AMAS, whereby the price maybe have gone up already lah. Does it make sense, far? All right, Ken. Okay, let's take a look at CNMC right now, right? For what is mentioned by John, right? So very good, John. You bought at 1.01. You're probably a client of mine. All right, thanks for the call. So very good that you got in a call, you got up. I mean, now you're still holding on to some pretty good profits. But let's see if it's a good idea to maybe get back in again on some recent weakness that we have seen. All right, so you can see this is CNMC Goldmine, right? $1.29. We got what we call a 1GT bullish signal coming out right over here. That was in July, about 3 months back, right? In fact, we got another one coming out right over here on the 9th of April, in fact, 11th of April, right over here, the first 1GT bullish signal. So first 1GT bullish signal coming out, it was only about 37 cents, 40 cents. Well, then what happens was the green 20 days moving average line started to flatten out. So if you ask me in May, June, and July, I would say that it's actually quite boring because the short-term trend was actually sideways, right? It was sideways. Even though the longer-term trend was up, look at the red and blue line, not too bad, huh? Longer-term trend up, but the short-term trend was sideways. However, when we got the first 1GT bullish signal coming out, there we go, right? The short-term trend, the green line started to point up. That's another confirmation. You see what I'm saying so far? All right, and there we go. Up. Is it still up? Yes, I think the green 20 days moving average line, it is still up. So now, as what we're seeing right now, the longer term trend is up, the short term trend is still up as well. And what we could do right now, like what Z has done, right, is we could actually turn on the trailing support level, all right, to see what it says. It just gives us an added confirmation as well, whether our prices above this trailing support level. So when we got the bullish signal, right, the trailing support is popped up right over here, right? It popped up at about 30 cents. 30 cents, flat up, 30, then up, right? So it follows the price as it moves up. But don't follow too closely. You give it the breathing space to breathe, right? The allowance that it needs that accounts for volatility. Right, so any natural pullback is fine as long as you're above it. You are okay one, right? Nothing to worry about. Plus, the short-term trend is up, the long-term trend is up, right? Even better, right? So you can see from 30 cents, you follow until now become $1.10. Does it make sense, Bob? All right, so that's where I would say that we are obviously still above this trailing support, which is also where, if you look at it, yeah, just nice. The green 20 days moving average line, the short-term trend, is also right over here at about $1.10, right? So this green 20 days moving average line, it acts a little bit like a dynamic support level as well, together with the trailing support level. So you can see there's a bit of space, there's a bit of space between the price at 129 and about $1.10, right? Why got so much space? Well, because as I said, at this trailing spot, you don't follow too closely, right? All this while as it's moving up, there is space given right over here. There's space, right? As it moves up, we have given it the space to be above the trailing support, and as long as you stay above, it is good to go. So right now we're still above it and there's still some space, right? So very simple, right? I will say that if you want to take some money off the table, nothing wrong. All right, we always encourage clients, even our mentees as well, to take some profit if they want, right, near a very key resistance level, especially if we see a couple of bearish candles there, we see a couple of touches, and it's a bit hard to break the resistance. Take some profit, right? Take some, not all, take some, right? Why? Because I think it still looks good. Like take all after you go up some more, right? So take some profit, nothing wrong. Put some gains in your profit or your pocket first. Maybe wait to enter again on dips, all right? And where could you think about getting in again on dips, right? It could be anything from 110 to 120 to 125. I think that could be really good grounds, all right? Especially if you get a few more other confirmations, like maybe a bullish candlestick coming out right over here. I mean, I'm not too sure whether it will come out or go down for you to buy, and then they come out and then you can get in, then you will go up. I don't know, right? But if it does happen, right? If it does dip to those pretty good support levels, or maybe it doesn't even dip, right? It stabilizes around here, then no choice, you might have to get in a little bit higher. But so far, I think as long as you stay above that 110 to 120, the uptrend remains intact. It is more up than down for now. All right, so this is for CNMC Goldmine. So back to your question, John, I mean, is it a good idea to buy some at 120 to 122? Yeah, 120, 125, 110 to 120 as well. If it does dip there, as I say, I have no idea whether it will dip there, but if it does, we see some bullish candlestick coming out. That could be where, it could be a little bit more attractive to ride the rebound all the way back up to the psychological $1.40 resistance level right now. All right, so overall still looks good, right? And what you could do, right, is very simple. You could set some alerts, right? If we break the 140, we go to 141, 142, 143. Great, that's where I think targets could be revised, maybe all the way to 160 as well. All right, okay, so that is for CNMC Goldmine. So you can see, look at this, right, guys, from this bullish signal right over here from 23rd July all the way to now. 183%. Right? Who says Singapore stocks are not good, right? 183% in 3 months. Maybe less than that, right? 183% in 3 months, right? So I think still looks good, right? I'm not too sure whether it'll be 200 or 300, but as of now, I think it still looks good, right? So let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next Singapore stock, right? Bervyn?
Thanks, Joey. All right, okay, let's go next stock. Okay, here we go. Here we have, okay, Yong Chao. Good morning, Yong Chao. Very nice to see you here again. Marco Polo Marine bought at 0.57. Hi, Yong Chao. If you are here, okay, please correct me. I think you mean 0.057 or not 57. 57 is 57 cents. Okay, so right now, Marco Polo Marine is currently trading close to 9 cents at 0.89. All right. So let's see. I think if we are talking about 0.57, very close to that support, I think that you have actually bought. All right, very close to that 55 support, the 5.5 cent support. Fantastic. You are currently sitting on 55% profit. Wait, I want to do this. Very well done. Yong Chao, you are sitting on very, very solid profits that you are since August of this year, I believe you actually bought. So holding for about 3 months, sitting on a very, very, very respectable amount of profit. So what's next? Right? Definitely what's next? Are you going to be taking some profits, or are you going to be continue to ride that trend? I think what really pops out for me, I think in the most recent day, I think Wednesday, you have this really, really bullish candlestick that actually showed up right here. All right, as prices broke above the 80 cents level, I think it's called a Maribuzo candlestick or something, but I don't know, but it looks like it is a very bullish candlestick that actually showed up, right? As prices broke above that 8 cents level, that psychological level, I mean, the round number, I think some people actually really, really like this. So that is currently where I will place a buy zone, right? A buy zone. Currently, that this is where we could see buyers actually, in fact, come back for Marco Polo Marine. So for yourself, you just have to take note so far that everything is looking good. Everything is looking good so far with that 100 days moving average pointing up, 200 days moving average pointing up. Recently in September, crossing above each other. Fantastic 20 days moving average. Obviously, that gradient is going to get a little bit steeper. Gradient a little bit steeper because why? Prices have moved up quite aggressively in the past few days. All right, so I'll place that immediate resistance around that 9 cents level. The 9 cents level completely okay. I would say completely okay, like what Joey have said, to take some profits. Enjoy your profits for a little bit, close to that 9 cents level. Why? It's because hey, prices have moved up rather quickly. Are you going to be very certain that prices going to be moving up higher? Nobody can tell you. All right, great. In fact, you had took some profits, 1/3 of it. Great. Enjoy the weekend. 1/3 profits, I think quite good. Left 60%, 70% of your holdings to continue to ride that uptrend. Fantastic. So far, it looks like the momentum is slowing down a little bit. We see a little bit of sellers actually, coming in today. Right now, close to that 90 cents level, we have prices trying to break it. Not able to break it just yet. Is it going to break today? I don't know. Your guess will be as good as mine. But let's see. If we do a little bit of a forecasting from the 8 cents to that 9 cents level, I think definitely that next potential upside would be towards that 10 cents, right? That 10 cents level, nice round number again. May see some profit taking coming back, some selling pressure resuming. Nothing wrong because the rest of the market wants to take profit as well. Okay, so with as long as that 80 cents, sorry, not 80 cents, that 8 cents level continues to hold. 8 cents level, that 20 days moving average very, very close to it as well. I think so far it will continue, or it might continue that upside momentum. I just want to turn on that trailing support for a little bit. Right, it looks like that trailing support is also very, very close to that 8 cents level. So I think there's a confluence of factors right there. That 8 cents level could be a very, very key support level going down the road. We want to see maybe even perhaps, all right, prices don't kanchong a little bit. Just consolidate within this 8 cents to 9 cents level, forming that healthy uptrend. So I think Yong Chao, I think so far still looking very much in your favor. All right, we're still looking very much in your favor. Maybe you just want to use that trailing support, protect some of continue to protect your profits, and if prices hit towards that 10 cents level, then maybe the other 1/3 you also can sell to take some profits, enjoy that profits a little bit. And if prices retrace back down to the 8 cents level, then that could be a potential re-entry zone for you as well. So I think that 1GT bullish signal still playing out from June onwards up to now. I think so far, we may see another 1GT bullish signal if consolidation, a meaningful consolidation happen and prices break above that 9 cents level. All right, Yong Zhao. So far, still looking good. Passing the time now to Z to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you, Bervyn. Okay, so the next stock that I have over here on my screen, right, that is actually HST, right? So I saw John and I think Miffy, right, is asking about HST, right? Bought HST at close to 90 cents. It has since come off the recent high of 1.08. Should I continue to hold? Then I think Miffy also bought somewhere close to the 90 cents. Yeah, HST at 93 cents should hold or should sell, right? So both of you guys are holding on to a stock and you're thinking, should I? Because since price now quite high, right? Compared to previously, you know, one year ago, right? And you are thinking whether should you continue to hold, can you continue to maximize your profit? That's a normal question that everybody would definitely think of when you're holding on to a stock and when the stock is actually reaching a high, right? Because for this stock, right, when it first IPO to where we are at now, it came a long way, right? Because you can see that 2020, that was when it first IPO. Wow, then this particular ETF has just been on a downtrend all the way, and it didn't look so good lah. So, you know, thankfully you all didn't buy like here and hold since like 4 years ago lah. All right, so prices then it just kind of like started to go down and go sideways a bit, right? 2023, 2024, it started to go sideways a bit, and the interest actually returned, and the longer term trend, right, actually shows some signs of positivity somewhere in 2024. This was when, right, we started to see that, you see right over here, let me just circle it, the red and the blue line, just focus on the red and the blue line, longer term trend, the red actually crossed above the blue line, which is a good thing, right? Because previously you see the blue is above the red and is above the green. Not good, right? This was where the longer term trend started to turn positive, right? And from then till where we are at now, when we look at the longer term trend, generally, red is actually above the blue. So not too bad already in terms of longer term trend. It has started to turn and reverse, right? Reverse back up, right? But of course, short term trend, green line that you can see, subsequently, there is highs and lows because, you know, short term, it moves more erratically, right, compared to the longer term trend. There is periods of high, then go sideways, high, came down again, sideways, and now this is where we are at, right? So short term trend definitely will have up and down, but at least now we know that longer term trend is not too bad, right? It is actually pointing up, red is above the blue. And now let's focus on the recent price action. What has been happening? We are seeing that the shorter term trend, right, the green line has also point up, right, and it's above the red and the blue, and it's totally opposite from what we are seeing back in 2021 and 2022. It's totally opposite, right? So this is good signs, right? This is good signs that for this ETF, not too bad, right? Trend has already reversed and it's playing out, right? And on top of that, with the 1GT bullish signal, how many do we see? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 consecutive 1GT bullish signal that is playing out. There is still no bearish signal yet, right? No red color signal here, right? It is all these 5 consecutive bullish signal is still playing out, and we know that the trend based on moving average is not too bad, right? It's not too bad. And then now we look at the support and the resistance, right? Give us more confirmation as to this stock still good or not, right? So right over here, right, we can see that $1, this $1 right over here is actually a psychological resistance, right? Back when, you know, when it didn't break, okay, when it was like that, definitely here, this is a resistance, right? $1 psychological resistance. And very recently, right, somewhere in last month or so, right, September, that was when it actually broke and hold above the $1 psychological level. Now, is it still holding? Yes. But I mean, of course, today we are seeing some pullback. We can see that, you know, there's this red candle right over here. It gapped down, it's still playing out. But overall, definitely still look good, and it's still holding above the $1. Right? And you know, just now remember when I turned on this trading support and resistance function, I told you guys that you know, you guys can make use of this to actually think about your downside, right? To manage your risk. But at the same time, this function, right, this trading support function, apart from doing that, you can also make use of it to continue to ride the trend. Because especially so when Miffy and John, right, you guys mentioned that you bought somewhere near the 90 cents level, which I believe, you know, maybe you guys saw these signals right over here. The 1GT bullish signal came out. I'm not too sure. Maybe you guys see this, but yeah, your entry, right, is near this 90 cents support level, which is great, right? Which is great, and that's the correct mindset that we want to have to buy when the stock is in an uptrend and we want to buy near a support zone, right? So right now, prices, is it holding above the trailing support? Yes, it's still holding above the trailing support. And both of you guys, the average cost price, right, that you guys enter is definitely you're sitting on profits right now, right? And we can see that the trailing support, right, is it above your entry price? Yes, right? And just now, I mentioned that we want to set our stop limit order slightly below the trailing support, right? So when you actually do that, if you set your stop loss, for example, I just put somewhere about 2%, okay, or maybe even 1.5%, somewhere like that. We set a stop loss, stop limit order slightly below the trailing support, like so, right? And remember that your average cost price, the price that enter is somewhere here. Essentially, are you protecting your profits? You are actually protecting your profits, right? That is what you actually want to do. You want to protect your profits. And the question that you guys have is whether to hold or to sell now. But based on what we have gone through earlier, is the stock still looking good? I think it's still looking pretty good, right? Especially so when the trend is actually all still up, you don't see any moving averages pointing down. Prices is holding above the trailing support. We got 5 consecutive 1-digit bullish signal. So that I don't think that there is a rush for you to actually sell that, right? Because definitely you are still seeing our profits and you want to maximize the profits. So what you can do is to continue riding the uptrend by making use of this trailing support. So if prices, of course, come back down, we trade, and then it started to move like that, right? Do you think that the trailing support, right, this green line, will it follow up? Yes, right? It should actually follow up in this manner because like what we mentioned, trailing support will trail the prices as it moves up, accounting for the volatility. So in that sense, make use of this trailing support function to actually ride the trend and maximize your profits, right? I hope that makes sense to you guys, all right? In terms of what perhaps something that you can consider to think about, especially so when, the stock still look good, you don't have to actually rush to sell. But of course, you want to sell, nothing wrong to sell, right? Because you sell already, you put the money into your pocket, you also feel good, right? You also feel more confident. So that is one way that you can make use of this to actually think about whether should you continue to maximize your profits. Okay, I hope that helps for Miffy and John. I'll pass the time back over to Joey to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you so much, Z. All right, very good analysis there, all right, on how you can take, have a plan, right, to protect your profits. All right, okay. Now let's go ahead to move on right now to the next stock, and that is asked by, let's see, right, Esther. Esther, I hope you're still over here, right, Esther? Hi, Joey bought YZJ Shipping at an average price of $2.50 based on your recommendation during the AMAS session. Awesome, right? Should I continue to hold? All right, and let's go to find out right now. So this, okay, let me just hide this comment. It's a bit too thick. All right, so Yang Zhejiang right now, should you continue to hold? All right, could there be even more upside? Let me just put another comment. I think we have like Karen as well. How do you choose a stock? Well, Karen, I mean, if I could explain this to you in 2 minutes or 5 minutes, I'll do it. But basically, today's session is the whole entire Ask Me Any Stock session, right? So if you're looking at how do you know when to get in and get out? How do you know whether to buy this stock? How do you filter out the top 1% of stocks, right? Before you even think about buying and selling them, right? If that's your question, right? How do you choose a stock? Very good. Then maybe what I can share right now is that I'm just going to share this, book launch, right? This book launch that is happening, all right next Saturday, all right, next Saturday, we have this book launch, guys, 18th October, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for 6 hours, guys, next Saturday, 18th October, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are going live for 6 hours, right? One Good Trend Secrets book is being launched, right? This is a book that I've written together with my team, right over here. And that's where I'll share with you guys about the entire One Good Trend strategy, right? And I call it One Good Trend Secrets. We'll go 6 hours. There'll be lots of value. There'll be a AMAS at the end as well. There'll be a lucky draw as well. There will be a Q&A as well. And that's where I pretty much dive into kind of like the steps that we're going to focus on, the process, the framework, the tools that we're using, and make sure you join us, right? So the link is right in the chat already, right? Make sure you go to click on the link to register, and Karen, especially for you, right? That's where I think I could share with you more as to how to choose a stock, right? That'll probably take a few more hours, all right, Ken? So go ahead to join us, guys. How many of you have already registered? Just type R for registered if you have already registered for the book launch. How to get hold of this book, right? Here, the link is right in the chat. Wait to register with Spot for the book launch. We'll be sharing more details on the 18th of October, 2025, next Saturday, all right, 10 a.m. all the way to 4 p.m. All right. How many of you are already registered? Just let us know, right? Let me know, all right? How many have already registered? Let's see, right? Wow, quite a lot of you are registered, right? John, Eugene registered, all right? May I know if it's live or Zoom? Well, it's over live. We're going live on YouTube, which is pretty much what we're doing now, right? Same thing, right? So if you're live on YouTube, go to register, you get the secret link to join us live when it happens, right? Lawrence registered, Chising, awesome, right? So that's where I'll share with you guys. I can't wait, right? We are going live on this studio. Okay, let me go to share with you what will happen, right? So we are going live in this studio, right? Over here, right? So once you click on the link in the chat, guys, you'll come to this page right over here, right? One Good Trend Secrets over here, right? Intl registered on day one. Awesome. I'll see you, right? In here, all right? So One Good Trend Secrets, 6 hours live, zero fluff. One GT Secrets go public from $740,000 debt to 7 figures. Be first in when we go live, right? So 6 hours of live training, the book launch, as I say, right? We have kind of like booked a live green screen studio, right? It's something new as well. We are kind of like just doing it. Hopefully it works, all right? And yeah, this is the page, right? So this is the page. Click on the link. You'll come to this page, secure a spot, reserve my front row seat, enter your name and email. And that's where you can secure a spot. We'll send you more details when we go live and the unique private link as well to join us in the One GT Secrets book launch live event, right? On YouTube for 6 hours. So the date is 18 October, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I think they can just place the link in the chat. I think it's like hidden somewhere at the top already, right? So that's the link, guys. Go to register your spot for One GT Secrets book live launch. Okay, very good. So I hope that answers your question, Karen, on would there be any lunch break? No, right? There'll be no lunch break, right? Maybe there's a 5 minutes break and we just go live. 6 hours, no breaks, all right? That's what we're doing for this live launch. Okay, Ken? Okay, now let's go to answer the next stop, and that would be by Esther, right? So, sorry, where is it? Esther. Oh, Esther, you have 2 questions, right? Oh, Yang Zijiang, sorry, the other one, right? Yang Zijiang, average price 250. Should I continue to hold? Well, let's go to find out right now, right? So you see, Esther, this is Yang Zijiang, not too bad, $3.43 over here. Let's go to turn on the 1GT Pro indicator in terms of the bullish and bearish signals. Pop. There we go. And there we can see, right? This is Yang Zijiang Shipbuilding, right? We had a couple of bullish signals coming out, right? Bullish one right over here. In fact, previously, well, not too bad. This was in like 2024, pump, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish all the way up, right? And then what happens, right? We got a bearish. So when you see a bearish signal, guys, red color one, bearish signal plus the short-term trend turn down, you want to be careful. You want to get out. You want to hold all the way down, right? Get out first. Wait for the right opportunity to get back in again, right? So I think, Carol, you mentioned you got in about $2.50. All right, Esther, $2.50, right? So maybe somewhere over here, not too bad. I think maybe after you saw this bullish signal, right? Or maybe we alerted you to it. And you can see we started to push up from the very first bullish signal, the second one, all the way to now about 63% in about 7 months. Right, 63% service. Not too bad, right? Now, let's go to find out if Esther, right? Should you hold, right? Should I continue to hold, right? Could there be more upside? What are some of the things that you could take note of to protect your profit? So you got in at $2.50. Now it's $3.42. Congrats. It's sure make money really, like, if you know what to do. If you don't know what to do, you let it go all the way back down there, of course, you'll lose money. But if you know what to do, to be honest, it's quite okay. If you take steps to protect your profits, then congrats to you, right? No problem. So how can you do it? Well, you can see that overall, the longer term trend is up, red above the blue, both starting to point up. The green line since May has already started to point up, flat, up a bit, up. I think right now, obviously, it is still pointing up, right? Resistance-wise, I would say maybe a bit of resistance around that $3.60. I think that is a key psychological resistance that we have seen a bit of profit taking over the past 1 week. Now, we could turn on what we call the trailing support level. As I say, right? This trailing support gives a stock the breathing room to move up, right? It follows the price and it moves up. It gives it the space. You don't follow too closely. As long as you're above it, you're fine. That would be another added bonus confirmation, right? And if you take a look at it, right? In fact, just like last week, we kind of like headed to near the trailing support level. And we saw this candle come out, even though it's red in color, but it's what we call a bullish candlestick. It means we actually went all the way down, even below the trailing support, whereby space was given, right? But what happens? Buyers came back and started to buy, up, and we went above it again. And that's where we have a bullish candlestick with a long, lower shadow. So that's a bullish stick. It means that what? It is respecting, right, the space that we've given it to be above, right? And so far since like May, we have been above it, right? So I think so far still looks good, right? I mean, obviously you can see we're still above it. There's still some space, right? The trailing support is around that $3.20 level. So from like about 190, we follow until we become $3.20 there. Does it make sense, Ma? All right. So not too bad, right? So what we can do, right, Estelle, is that you could take steps to protect your profits, right? You can continue to hold. If you want to take some profit near a resistance like 360, 350 something, nothing wrong. Go ahead, nothing wrong, right? However, I think it's good to take some profit if you want, but don't take all because it still looks good, right? And what you could do is to take steps to protect your profits for the balance shares that you have, right? That you have not taken. So what you could do is to kind of put a stop loss, maybe below the $3.20. So this could be a stop loss level, something like here. You could place a stop limit order, right? Below 320. Why below 320? Because 320 is a trailing support, right? You should be above it, right? So if you put it below 320, just give it a little bit more allowance, right? If you go to 316, 317, 318, 315, whatever, right? Set a stop limit there. If it goes down, you hit, you get out, never mind. You still make money without overthinking, without second guessing when to get out. Does it make sense, Mom? All right, so that's what I'll do, all right, if I'm you, to let it ride some more, let it hopefully break 360, you go to 380 or $4, happy, yeah, great, right? Good. And then you could raise your stop loss even higher because this green line will continue to follow it up, right? Then you also follow, right? From this, you can see the stop loss, follow, and now you put over here. You go some more, you follow some more. Does it make sense, Mom? All right, and you take steps to protect your profits while allowing it to maximize right, the gains, all right, and not cutting your profit short as well. All right, Ken? So that is for YZJ Shipbuilding. Let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next stock.
All right, thanks, Joey. Okay, let's see who do we have here next. Okay, here we go. Hi, Benny. So looking to buy Banyan tree, is it a good time? And entry level at 0.62 and 625. Benny, believe you are new here. So welcome, firstly, for our weekly AMAS. So let's see. We got Banyan tree. I think we ran up quite a little bit. I think earlier this year, towards the mid of this year, it started to run up. We have 1, 2, 3 bullish signals that actually came out. Prices ran as high as exactly 100% right there before starting to pull back. So okay, let's see. I think we had that 20 days moving average starting to slope down as we had the 1GT bearish signal coming right in when prices broke that 64 cents resistance level. Found a little bit of a support. All right, found a little bit of support at the 54, 55 cents level. Prices had consolidated for about a month or so before rebounding very close to that support level. And finally, we have arrived here. But overall, it looks like that longer term uptrend had started to pick up in June, early of June actually, started to pick up, and right now it is still pointing up, right? Benny, you agree, right? It's still pointing up. 100 days moving average pointing up, 200 days moving average pointing up, and most recently that 20 days moving average, had a U-turn and started to point up as well. All right, so we are seeing that there is a little bit of a resistance. Right? Previously was a support, now turn resistance at about that 64 cents level. Right now the price is at 62 cents. So if you're thinking of buying close to 62 and a half cents level. Okay, so this is a very common thing. Sometimes we get asked this question. Hey, Joey, how come, or Bervyn, how come when after I buy the stock straight away come down? Oh, because you buy close to a resistance level. The possibility or the probability of that price reversal happening is higher. All right, because there are people that have already bought at 55 cents level. They're looking to take some profits, push prices back down. So that is why sometimes you buy very close to a resistance level, you tend to realize that prices doesn't move up much before it U-turns back down. So let me delete this for a while. What we want to do now, I think, Benny, we want to wait for something of what we call like a breakout trade. So what is a breakout trade? A breakout trade is riding on the momentum where prices are breaking key levels. So in this case, breaking that 64 cents resistance. Is it more expensive? definitely it is more expensive to buy upon a breakout. All right, so but then it gives you a little bit more conviction, a little bit more confirmation that the trend or the momentum is present. All right, so I think be a little bit patient, maybe set up some alerts first, maybe 64.5 cents, 0.645 right there. Doing something like that, 0.645, 0.65, get yourself alerted if prices break and hold above that 64 cents level before you get in. All right, so otherwise you could wait for prices to retrace back down closer to that 55 cents level. But I do not want that as well. Why? It's because currently we have that 1GT bearish signal still in play. So if the prices continue to head down, this bearish signal may still be valid. It will still be valid. And or maybe you will even will see another 1GT bearish signal. So that is when you do not want to buy. So I would say in this case for Binance, you're more likely to wait for a breakout trade as well. So just let me turn on that trailing support right here. Trailing support and resistance. Oh, okay, let me just get rid of this line here. You can see that that trailing resistance is right at that 64 cents level. So this is pretty much where the horizontal support and the the horizontal resistance and the horizontal and the trailing resistance are both in play. All right, we're both in play at 64 cents level. So if prices were to break above that 64 cents level, hey, maybe you will see another 1GT bullish signal or 1GT bullish signal coming in to override that 1GT bearish signal. So where will the next upside be if that 64 cents level give way? I would say it will be towards that previous high of close to 72 cents first. So that represents an upside of about 10 to 11% so far. If this is only if prices break and hold above the 64 cents level. So I think Benny, let's not rush in to buy just yet. We still have a 1GT bearish signal still in play. Now, although the 20 days moving average, 100 days moving average, 200 days moving average looks good right now. All right, just hold your horses for a little bit. Let prices break above. All right, get a little bit more confirmation, get a 1GT bullish signal coming in. Yeah, I think then maybe this trade will be more in your favor then. All right, so that is for Banyan Tree. I'll pass the time to Z to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you, Bervyn. Okay, so the next stock that I have over here would be by Joshua. Right, Joshua is asking about SGX. Joshua, I hope you are still here. You say you wanted to get into SGX, but the price keep running away. Is it still all right to enter at the elevated level? Okay, let's see. Let's see. Is it really running away? Okay, so for SGX, the trend for this, I don't really have to talk about the trend now. You all see the moving average. You all know it's up, right? Everything is pointing up. Green, red, and blue is pointing up. Very classic uptrend, right? This is what we want to see when we want to think about buying into a stock. So first step mentality, correct already. We want to buy into a stock that is an uptrend. At least it's not in a downtrend. Okay. And then the next thing that we see over here, right, is that I already turned on the 1GT bullish signal. We see that how many? 1, 2, 3. 3 consecutive 1GT bullish signal still playing out. Right, still playing out. And all these are the levels, right? These levels are the levels that the support levels are those levels that we have drawn previously, right? And you can see that over the past months or so, right? Actually, since the second half of this year, right, we are seeing that prices have been consistently breaking resistance. And when that actually happens, it means that price actually found new higher support along the way. So you can see right over here, previously, right, at the start of the year, the resistance was at about 1350, right? Prices break above, managed to hold above it, go sideways, and then 1350 become a support level, right? Once again, break above, and then this $15 become a support level because previously it was tested, right? And then after that, it goes up again, and then this is where, we saw that there are multiple support level being found, and it's like getting higher and higher, right? So the most recent one, right, as you can see over here, right, I think the immediate support level that perhaps, Joshua, you can actually take note of, right, would be around this $17 lah. Why $17? Over here, let me circle for you. You can see one time here, prices actually tested, right? It attempts to break above it, but unable to, selling pressure came back in, cannot break above lah. Then prices came back down and go back towards the support at about $16, right? Then once again, it actually did it once more, right over here, somewhere in September, right? Middle of September. Prices retested the $17 resistance. At that point in time, you have resistance. Unable to break above, selling pressure push prices back down once again. And not too long ago, at the start of October, price break above the $17, right? I think that's where you say, wow, the SGX price keep running away from you because it keep going up and up, right? But the key thing now is that, when you actually see this, when you're monitoring a stock and the stock keeps going up, right? We don't want to be FOMO because once you be FOMO and you wow, I want to faster catch into a stock, right? There are a lot of times whereby people might get stuck because you might buy at a high because of all your emotions, right? Wow, I want to faster get into the stock. If not, it goes up already. But then after that, once you buy out and then the stock retrace back down, you're like, shit, I get stuck already, right? So we don't want that. We don't want that. We want to practice patience, right? We want to practice patience and we want to look for key support zones to potentially position yourself for entry. That is the whole key thing of what we want to look out for. Especially so when we know that, this particular stock SGX uptrend is still good, right? 3 consecutive 1GD bullish signal. So now that we have identified the support level, the new higher support level is about $17. This is where you want to potentially set some price alerts, right? Near this $17, maybe 17, 10 cent, 11, 12, 13, 14. You can set multiple alerts near the support zone right over here, right? To potentially position yourself for entry, especially after price retrace and it's able to hold above this level, great, right? And then as long as it's able to hold above $17 and as well as the trading support, I haven't even turned on the trading support yet, it is still looking good, all right? So let me just turn the trading support on and what can we see? Is price above the trading support? Yes, it's still actually above the trading support, right? And the trading support is pretty close to the $17 as well. So imagine if prices, right, came back down and then go sideways and then it breaks above this $18, then definitely we may see more potential upside to this counter again. And where would that be? Then immediate now, of course, we know that it's $18, right? Because and over the past couple of months, we see that it has been in a $1 range, right? So when we do a projection up, simply the next upside target that we are looking at will be towards the $19. But of course, the first level that it has to break above first will be the $18 for it to find an even new higher support before actually going higher. But of course, for SGX, right, it'll be good for it to, kind of head sideways, it come down, then go up, come down, go up, head sideways before going up. Then it makes the uptrend even more sustainable for SGX. Okay, I hope that helps, Joshua. Don't have to rush Don't have to rush. The key thing is don't be FOMO and rush in and then after that be stuck, right? We want to get near the support zones, especially in an uptrending stock. Okay, I hope that helps. I'll pass the time back to Joey to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you so much. Zee, let's move on to the next one, and that would be for this stock called SATS, right? SAT Services, SATS. I think some of you are asking about it. We have Iris. I hope you're still over here. All right, we have this, right? Bought SATS at $3.45 and now it's $3.52. Yeah, indeed, right now it's $3.52. Today down, should hold or should sell, right? Actually, only down a little bit, right? Okay, let's see. So we have one more asking about SATS as well. Lihan, I hope you're still here, right? SATS bought at an average price of 3.54 from a year ago. Wow, okay, so that means not recently, 1 year back. Probably you bought it probably over here, right? I think maybe right over here, right? So and then it went all the way down, all right? Can hold or can accumulate more positions, all right? So I think recently it touched 360 yesterday. Now a bit of selling today, Okay, very good. So let me go through SATS, right, for Lihan and also for Iris. Let me just put Iris' comment so it's not so covering the chart. Okay, so you can see right over here, SATS $3.51 right now. So Lihan, like you mentioned, they bought a year ago. I think maybe 350 something somewhere over here. So by right, probably if you have got in earlier and you see like not one, not two, but three bearish signals, then you probably want to have got out, right? Because imagine if you have got out and then you went all the way down, you get in again, and now you're riding it up, you're making profits, right? But let's say if you got in 1 year ago, right? You saw the bearish signal, you think never mind wait a bit more tomorrow will rebound one, right? Let's wait 明天会更好, right? Then you wait, and you didn't get out, and then I'll go all the way down, now come back up, then it's back to square one. Nothing happened. You're just back to square one after 1 year. All right. Does it make sense? So whenever we get like a bearish signal, all right, and more confirmations that it's going down, I think we always want to plan to stop loss, to get out, to reduce your exposure. All right. That is key. All right. And then maybe to think about when to get back in again when the time comes, when there are clear signs of a reversal. All right. And that's what you should do, right? Yeah. But never mind. I mean, maybe you're not alerted to these bearish signals then, right? So never mind. But the point here is that when you see a bearish signal plus some other bearish confirmations, you get out. Now, let's take a look at what is happening right now. So you can see, right? We got a bullish signal in April, another one in July, all the way up, and finally we got a bearish signal. Well, get out 19% in about 2 months plus, pretty good, right? And then it became a bit boring, right? Started to consolidate, right? So there'll be a consolidation from like about 320 to about 340. Look at this, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down here for like about 1 plus 2 months, right over here, right? And finally, we broke above the $3.40 resistance level, and that triggered, all right, 2 new 1GT bullish signals. Look at this, right? Pump. 2 more new bullish signals that came out, I would say about 2 weeks back as we broke the 340. So I think not too bad, right? Of course, today we touched, yesterday we touched 360, a bit of profit taking. That's normal. I think it's normal. Like, if you hit to a resistance, you see a bit of a profit taking, like over here, right? Maybe, let's see, right? Pump, up, pump. A bit of profit taking, it starts going higher. A bit of profit taking, pump. Right, so a bit of profit taking, pump, right? So it's normal to see a bit of profit taking, it consolidates sideways for a while, right? Some selling pressure coming back, and it still stays above those support levels. Then I think it's still fine. Like for example, right now, right, this 340 that was the resistance previously would turn into a new support level. So let me just turn this red line to green in color right over here, $3.40. And you can see that it kind of like coincides with where the 20 days moving average line is, right? Which is obviously, pointing up. I mean, if you ask me, last month it was flat, but right now with 2 bullish signals, the green line has started to point up, right? So I think 340 would be a near-term support level. In fact, maybe even 350, which is where we have been holding above over the past 1 over week, would be a nearer term horizontal support level. So as long as you stay above the 340 to 350, I think it still looks okay. This is some normal, volatility kind of profit taking as it pulls back, all right? But I think overall it still looks quite okay in terms of the reversal as long as these support levels are holding. And if you could get another confirmation, what we could do is to turn on the trailing support level that kind of give it the space to breathe, right? You see the trailing support is also right over here around that $3.40 level. So it's still above it, obviously, right? So I think it's still okay, right? Above 340 to 350, it could be just a natural pullback, a bit of a sideways consolidation, and it's still poised to push even higher, all right? Especially if the 360. So what you could do, right? 360 would be a resistance level to watch. Yesterday, we touched it, we came back down. Today, put lower, right? So 360 is a resistance level for now. If we can break 360, we go to 361, 362, 363. You can see I set some alerts right over here, right? So this is what we call a price alert. So you can set some alerts. So once it goes to 362, 363, maybe let's set one more at 364. All right, I'll be alerted. And that's where I think we could look at it again to see if maybe even the new bullish signal is triggered, or maybe, all right, we look at some other confirmations as well if there could be more upside momentum to take it higher to $3.80 or even $4. All right, so I think that is for set services. Normal consolidation, normal profit taking, overall bullish signals are still in play. Trend in the longer term, in the short term is still in play. I think it still looks okay for now. All right, Ken. So this is SATS services. All right, Bervyn, back to you for the next stop.
All right, thanks, Joey. All right, so before I continue, I just wanted to do a little bit of recap because I saw some questions. Some people are requesting stocks that they have covered already, but no worries. Definitely after this live stream ends, there will be a replay. But if you would like to just find out what stocks we have already covered, or Joey and Z and myself have already covered, here we go. So we have Joey starting off with the STI, all right, then followed by Centurion, all right, then I covered IFAST, Z covered LHN, back to Joey covering CNMC Goldmine, then Z covered very interesting ETF, LIONOCBC, HSTech, all right, followed by YZJ Shipbuilding, Banyan 3, SGX, and followed by sets. All right, so so if you want to watch the replay, you can do it after that. We will not cover the same stock again lah. All right, okay, so let's see who we have here. Okay, Lam. Hi, Lam. So hopefully you're still with us here. Let's see, please comment on UMS and Seatrium. Any bullish 1GT recently not sure to hold, to sell, to bought quite a while ago. All right, thanks. Laura, I think follow up as well. Comment on the slide on Seatrium today. So Lam, firstly, unfortunately, today Seatrium don't have new 1GT bullish signal. Today have 1GT bearish signal fresh from the oven, still piping hot lah. Okay, so but will it remain valid towards the end of the day, I don't know. I can tell you right now, there is a 1GT bearish signal, but towards the end of the day, will it still be valid? 不知道. Okay, but we have quite a few things to look at here for Seatrium. Right, there's an announcement today. Let me just click on it. Just take a look. Seatrium announces receipt of notice of termination. Right, this looks like it was for the contract of their wind turbine. Previously, it was terminated. So I guess they got to take it off their books. Like there's no more incoming revenue for there anymore. No more backlog on that side. So definitely affecting the top line of the company. Affecting the profits that they can bring in, the earnings per share bring in. That's why prices is reacting, or the market is reacting towards that. And seeing some weakness coming in this morning just before that market closed for lunch. Right, prices looks to be trying very, very hard to hold above that $2.26 level. All right, trying very hard to hold there. We came down from the resistance of about 250. All right, 250. Let me just change this to a green line first. 250, where previously there was a high as well. So I think if Lam is still holding on for it today, time to look at the trading plan. What does it say? If prices break below that 230 level, I mean, you have been holding for some time already, so maybe you have some profits. Would you like to get out and reposition yourself once prices stabilize again? I don't know, you have to look at your trading plan, especially if you're holding on, you're sitting on some profits. Don't let those profits turn into a loss, right? Don't let those profits be turned into a loss. We're not trying to go broke trying to make a profit here, lah. Okay, so right now my alerts haven't been triggered yet. I have some alerts being set up if prices break below that 225 level. Just take a look at that trailing support and resistance right now. Right now, we have a trailing resistance because there is a 1GT bearish signal. Prices have broken that trailing support at about 2.31 this morning. I mean, if you have been using that trailing support as a reference for your stop limit order, you should have gotten out already. All right, today is the chance for you to get out, because I don't know whether next Monday open prices will it fall down towards the next support of $2.10. I don't know. We will never know. Nobody can tell you for certain that will the next support immediately be tested. That is why you want to be a little bit more cautious. The 1GT bearish signal doesn't mean prices will fall to 150, 160, prices will crash, the stock will go bust. No, that means all it means is that currently selling pressure, sellers are taking a little bit more control today already. So you want to be ahead of the game. You can use that trailing support as a reference for yourself. Right now, we have fallen below that trailing support. Let's see if prices will fall below that horizontal support as well. So for those of you who maybe today thinking that, hey, prices have slipped close to a support, looking to buy, let me just turn your attention to this 20 days moving average is currently pointing down already. Nearer term momentum not in buyer's favor anymore. So you just want to be a bit more careful. Don't rush in. Practice a little bit of patience, like what Zee and Joey have mentioned. There is always other opportunities. You don't want to lock up your funds, especially when counters are being weak or showing signs of weakness. Right. So Lam, just be careful of that downside towards that $2.10. Right. If you do not wish to sell, look at your trading plan. Right. You want to protect your profits. Right. So that is for Seatrium, showing signs of weakness today. Pass the time to Zee to cover the next stock.
All right, thank you, Bervyn. Okay, so let me just share my screen over here. Okay, so the next stock that I'll be covering will be DBS, right? YQ, I hope you're still here. You say which level to get out some profits for DBS, because I think DBS is also one of the stocks that a lot of people has been asking us recently because of the price surge. And as you can see over here, it has recently reached an all-time high, basically, right? And based on these, right, the uptrend for DBS definitely is still very intact, right? All the moving averages are actually heading up, and prices has just been going up, finding new higher supports, right? And very recently, like what I mentioned, I think just a couple of days ago, on 7th of October, it reached a high of about 53.20, right? That was the all-time high for DBS. So the thing is that now we are actually seeing two consecutive 1GT bullish signal lah. Still don't have any bearish signal yet. But then maybe we want to take a look at some of the support levels, right? Especially, for some of you guys who are thinking like, hey, where can I potentially add some position? Where can I think about, should I think about exiting? Where can I potentially take some profits? Okay, so those are what we can infer, right, from support and resistance levels, okay? So when I were to zoom in like this, right over here, right, you can see I've actually drawn a horizontal support level at about this $50. I think $50 is actually what we consider a psychological support as well, right? Psychological round nice number, $50. And also, we can see that, subsequently when price actually retraced, right, this was the entire period, right? I mean, of course, here, this level was tested, 50 was tested as well. But not too long back, just about 1 month ago, right, we can actually see that prices towards end of September, right, this was where selling pressure came in to push the price back down, but the buyers are very persistent to keep the price above $50. As you can see that over here, multiple days of candlestick, right? That buyers are just there to support it, right? To support the price at $50. It didn't break below the $50, and then subsequently buyers win, right? Buyers win, and then what we are actually seeing is that buyers are willing to buy at higher prices, and that's resulting in the price actually going up. And we also see two multiple 1GT bullish signal coming up, right? So, of course, very recently, the price actually reached an all-time high of, like I've mentioned, about 50... What was it? 54.80. Sorry, just now I say wrong. 54.80 was the high, right? 55, I would say, would be another psychological level that you want to take note of, because this is where potentially we might see selling pressure returning, right? And over the past few days, we are seeing some profit taking happening. Prices came back down, right? Prices came back down a little, pull back a little. Not too bad, right? Not too much, just a little bit, right? But we are still within the 55. I would say we are still within the 55 resistance zone right over here. So for some of you guys who probably have been holding on to DBS for very long, right? Or maybe a few years back, or even like at the start of the year, right? You will definitely be already sitting on profits. So there would be nothing wrong for you to actually take some profits. Not all, but some profits. Maybe it could be half of your position, 1/3, 20%. Some of your profits near the 55. Nothing wrong to take some profits, to lock it in, right? Because the thing is that I also want to let you guys think about this thing, right? Because as you guys know, I think Fed, they will actually have a FOMC meeting, if I'm not wrong, on somewhere end of October, right? End of October. And the market is actually already pricing in, things like, interest rate cuts for this year, right? And when you talk about interest rate cuts, interest rates will actually affect banks, right? And, net interest incomes and things like that. So it really depends on how individual bank, right, pivot that kind of headwind, because that will actually definitely affect the bottom line of different banks, right? So that is something for you guys to think about, because I also wouldn't know whether, really the Fed will go and cut rates not, right? I'm not sure. But those are some of the catalysts that could potentially affect bank stocks, which is affecting DBS as well, all right? But the thing is that if prices are subsequently it retrace, and it can break above the $55, right? $55 potential upside targets that we are actually looking at, right, would be, if we project this up, it will be towards the $60, right? Towards the $60. That is provided if price, right, we can see for DBS able to break and hold above the $55, like, and if their management is actually able to, pivot around the whole interest rate cut things, and able to actually boost their bottom line, because that one I wouldn't know, I'm not in the management, I don't know, right? So that is something that perhaps some of you guys can consider about, especially when you are thinking about DBS, all right? Okay, when you're thinking about DBS. So for now, for DBS, I think definitely it still look pretty bullish. We are near a resistance whereby there is nothing wrong to take profits. I repeat that, there is nothing wrong to take profits near the 55. Okay, so I think I saw a question, right? I saw a question somewhere in the comment about, where is it? About asking about how did the signal actually come about? So let me try to find the comment. Was it by? Let me see. Sorry, I think it's actually buried in the comments already. But anyway, for you guys who are actually wanting to know, how the signals actually come about, why do we have all these signals, right? You guys can actually take note of the book launch, right? The book launch that Joey is actually talking about earlier on, right? Because because that is where you can actually get the entire full framework of the 1GT signal and how do you actually use it together with this 1GT Pro indicator. So having a better understanding of the framework, how the framework comes about, what do we take note of, why the signal actually come out, that is where you guys can actually waitlist, right? I think the link is already in the chat. Maybe we can put it one more time because maybe it might be buried, right? We can put it one more time in the chat and you guys can actually waitlist for this book launch on the 18th of October, which is next Saturday, right? Next Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for 6 hours, right? And then from there, I mean, I hope you guys can join us 6 hours live lah. But if you guys no time, you can hop in and on and off. But we hope you guys can come and support us for this live, and then that's where you will definitely know, like, you know, more about the 1GT framework and the strategy. Okay. Yeah, I think that is all for DBS from me. I'll pass the time back over to Joey for the next stop.
Yeah, thank you so much, Z. Thanks for shouting out on the book launch as well. So very quickly, yeah, I think Z mentioned there was like, how to get hold of the book. Well, the link is right in the chat, right? So I think Z had mentioned very clearly, guys, next Saturday, right? Next Saturday, 18 October, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., 6 hours, no breaks. We'll be talking about this book right over here, right? The contents of this book, more importantly, all right? We'll break it all down for you. There'll be a lucky draw. Of course, we'll share exactly how you can get the book as well, all right? And for those of you who want results even faster, we'll share that as well. And there will be what we call an AMA as well at the end. Right? Ask me any stock session at the end, maybe about 2 hours, Q&A at the end as well. You could ask any questions. We'll do our best to cover them, right? So make sure you join us live. Link in the chat. Right, One Good Trend Secrets book launch. We're doing a live launch on YouTube as well. Right? I think some of you are asking like Mike, I found the comment, right? Z, under what circumstances and when will the 1GT signal appear? Good question, Mike Ong. All right, it's a bit hard to explain the whole framework today. All right, because we have covered like about 13, 14 over stocks. But you can join us in our book launch. That's where we'll break it down for you. You can see you can get all these secrets in this book right over here. So this is a real book, guys. Not the ebook. It's a real a real book right over here, right? So I can't wait to share more with you guys, with you reading the book, all right? Okay, now let me go ahead to any side copies of the book. Yes, indeed, all right? Make sure you join the live launch. Why? Because, Clement, there will be a side copy, not just by me, but me, Bervyn and Zee as well, who are some of the co-authors of this book as well. We'll have 3 side signature, right? Only for fast action takers, or only for fast action takers. So make sure you join us. This way we can share with you a bit more on how to get the signed copies of One Good Trend Secrets book. All right, Ken? Okay, now very simple. Bervyn, anything to add regarding the book launch? I mean, what will you be covering then? Bervyn?
I think during this book launch, I think it's quite exciting. What we'll be covering, I think there's so many things to be covered. I think Joey has been very, very generous in writing this book. He's been very, very generous in writing this book. It's basically a show hand. I would say a very big part on him. It's showing everything from the 1GT framework to a trader's mindset. So I think this book, you can use it even if you are a veteran, but as a beginner, I think if you're just starting out in the market or you want to find out a little bit more on the technical aspect of trading, I think this book would definitely be like a textbook. I would say like a textbook. You can use it like a textbook, but I think it's very, very interactive as well. But I would like to request everyone to do us a favor, especially if you have waitlisted already. Don't just show up alone. All right, if you have a friend that is new to the market, or you want to share it with your friends and family, join us on the live stream as well to get to know us, to get to know Joey. I mean, please send that link to them as well, the waitlist link as well. I think it's a very, very big event. I think we'll be very, very excited for it. Joey has been very tired, I would say, preparing for this event.
Definitely, we're like looking to launch this. All right, launch this. I think quite a lot of effort, right, to put together a book and then to put together a live launch event. We kind of rented the green screen studio, live for 6 hours. So we hope it works. I hope there's no technical, issues here and there, but do bear with us if there is. But essentially, we'll be here to give value to you guys. All right, and do join us. 18 October, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The link is right in the chat, right? Can you send us the book? Yes, definitely, Aki Taishi, right? We can send you the book. If you join us, we'll share with you guys the link on how to get the book as well. And not only just get the book, right, but if you join us in a live launch, you get more than 7,000. I say again, you get more than $7,000 in bonuses. All right, free, right? Just for getting the book as well. We'll share more in the live launch. All right, Chris, how to get the book? Yes, all right, it will all be shared in a live launch. Chris, basically the link is right in the chat. Just right above Chris and click on it. Register for the live launch, and you'll come. Okay, let me just go to share my page. Right, this is where you will be. All right, over here, right? Click on the link, you'll come to this page. One Good Trend Secrets go live. You can see this the studio that we rented, right? We're going live. Click on this button, reserve my front row seat, right? In about a week's time. There we go. All right. So this is the page. Go ahead to register, click on the button. From 740K debt to 7 figures, be there, right? Be the first to join when One Good Trend Secrets goes live. 6 hours, no breaks. We're going live here. All right. Okay, Ken. So that is the link. Akitashi as well, Chris as well. All right, very good. All right, I'll see you guys there. Okay, now let's move on very quickly to the very next stock for today, right? Let's just maybe cover about maybe one more round very quickly. Let's just do it right now. Let's see, what stock is this? Well, that would be by Pauline, right? Pauline, is it time to buy Sembcorp Industries? Already up from 605 to 655. Okay, very good. Thank you so much, right? So yes, let's see. We have Kuna. I bought Sembcorp Industries at 650, all right, in June this year. So you bought at 650, which is, I would say in May and June, right over here, right? And then after reaching a high price, the price came down. Now, any further upside or sell it now? Okay, so like you're back to square one already. So I think you got in over here. It went up, came back down, now go up a bit, you're back to square one, right? So basically, I think what we want to do is that when we see a bearish signal, can get out, take some profit, all right? But you can see now, nothing wrong, but I think definitely we're seeing some signs of strength. There could be a potential reversal happening, all right? But the point here is that if you have got in previously, could have, all right, and then now and you see a bearish signal, weakness and all that, get out, wait for the time to get back in. I think that's where you could write even more profits. All right. Okay, so let's just go through Sembcorp Industries right now. So you can see, right, long-term trend is up since beginning of the year. All right, short-term trend, the green line was up, flat up, boom. I think there's some bad news, right? I think results came in kind of like below expectations right over here, right? I think it's surprised to the downside in terms of their revenue, profits, and all that. Boom, we got a 1GT bearish signal, right? It gapped down and went even lower. However, over the past 2 months plus, right, we actually saw some consolidation right over here above the $6 psychological resistance level. So it was doing a sideways thing, right? Look at this, right? The green line that was going down. Somewhere in September, it started to flatten out. Awesome, right? It just means that finally, as the green line flattens out, I mean, it did not just like, go all the way down like this, right? Then you want to be careful, right? Now, I would say the $6 support will have been broken, right? Then please don't go and buy, right? However, the green 20 days moving average line did not do that, right? It actually started to flatten out, right? Down, flatten out. It means that it has turned into a sideways consolidation in the short term, right? Then some of you might ask me, Joey, so, sideways consolidation in the short term. So will it kind of like break the 620 to push higher, or maybe it might break the $6 to go lower? Also can, right? Because it's consolidating sideways from 6 to 620, right? I don't know whether you'll break upwards or you can break downwards as well below the support level. So we don't guess. I mean, nobody knows for sure whether it will break down, it will break up. All we know is that it is a sideways consolidation, right? We want to get the confirmation if it were to break either up or down, all right? And let's see what has happened. So you can see, right, over the past 1 over week, well, finally, we did manage to get out of the 620 resistance level that we've been trading below for 2 months. So not too bad. It seems like it is breaking upwards instead of downwards below that $6. So that's where we got a 1GT bullish signal being triggered as we broke above the 620. And of course, look at this, right? The green 20 days moving average line that was going flat for the past 2 months has started to slightly slope up. Why slightly? Because it only just happened, right? So it just started to slightly slope up. So I think not too bad, right? Not too bad. Pauline, I think we're looking at a bit of a reversal move now. If you ask me, like in September, I would say, I don't know, right? It's just like moving sideways. I don't have no idea what to do as well. But right now, because of it just breaking above the resistance at 620 and not break and come back down. No, you break above it, you stay above it, you have a higher support level. good, right? That is where there could be signs of a revoke. So in fact, I think over the past few days, 640 seems like a higher support level that's formed, right? So we could shift this from 620 all the way to 640. Resistance level, I would say maybe a bit of resistance at 660, after 660 all the way towards the psychological $7 as well. So that could be kind of like the range from 640 all the way to that $7, right? Bullish signal have came out, it got triggered over the past few days. Short-term trend is turning up. The longer-term trend, all right, can see what's up, sideways, potentially maybe even turning back up as well. All right, we need more confirmation for the longer-term trend. All right, so that is for Sembcorp Industries. Let me pass on the mic to Bervyn, all right, to cover the next stop.
All right, thanks, Joey. Okay, let's see. I think Clement, you have posted these questions a few times. Thanks for being persistent. Now let's just see. Let's go. Port Valuetronics 0.82, fantastic. Early September, but prices have retraced after hitting close to the 91 cents level in September. Volume has declined in the recent days. Is it recommended to hold or to wait? Great question right there. Let me just hide your comment a little bit. Not my chart. Gonna block already. Okay. Let's see. So early September, you have bought Valuetronics, retracing your steps. I believe you have bought when you saw that 1GT bullish signal actually came in, prices break higher, break above the 80 cents resistance, turn into a support, and that's where you got it. Great entry plan actually. In fact, nothing wrong there. And prices in fact went higher, touching that 90 cents level, in fact breaking above it, just not able to hold above it. See a little bit of a retracement coming back in, and most recently we have a 1GT bearish signal. Right, sellers have taken a little bit of a control right there. Of course, you have preferred to sell close to 90 cents, right? So this is why sometimes we say it's completely okay when prices reaches the next target level, sell a little bit, just to lock up some of those profits. But it's fine. You haven't sold it and prices are still above your entry price of 8.2. Today is trading about 8.3584 as of right now, but we have that 20 days moving average already pointing down a little bit, right? Pointing down a little bit, just zooming in right here. It is pointing down a little bit. Selling momentum is a little bit present or more present right now. We'd like to see that prices consolidate between the 80 cents level to the 90 cents level for a little bit. Nothing wrong there because prices have ran up previously. We could be seeing the exact same thing actually happening right here. This entire phase where prices were consolidating, this entire phase could happen right here again. That's completely fine because this is a sign of a healthy uptrend, right? It's a healthy uptrend, but we do not want to see prices break below the 80 cents level. Then it means the weakness is pretty much confirmed as well. So we want to be a little bit more cautious. Be a little bit more cautious if prices break below the 80 cents psychological level. But if you are thinking of whether to hold or to sell, I think right now you can see that we turn on that trailing support resistance, you'll see a trailing resistance close to that 90 cents level. I mean, this is a sign of a starting of a consolidation phase. In fact, it looks like that. My price is just moving sideways for a little bit longer. So if you want to sell or if you're not looking to hold, I mean, if you want to get out because there's a 1GT bearish signal, trailing support is broken, right? Completely fine as well, right? That's following your trading plan. But that horizontal support still holding up. All right, so if you're looking to get out 2 to 3 bits below that the previous trailing support, completely fine. Below that horizontal support of 80 cents, also fine as well. But if now we see prices, right, maybe just go down a little bit, start to hit higher a little bit, you may see that 20 days moving average start to flatten out first, getting closer to that 90 cents level. Hey, that could be another opportunity for you to lock up some profits again. All right, so I think more right now is more of a wait and see situation. It looks like it's just a little bit of no man's land. Wait and see to see which direction does prices take you. All right, so but be ready to take action if prices break lower. Don't let your losses extend. All right, but if prices hit higher, closer towards the 90 cents level, have a plan. Maybe take some profits there as well. But so far, Valuetronics still looking fine in the longer term. All right, Clement. So just some key levels for you to take note of. Pay attention to the signals. We previously had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish signals. Now we have our first bearish signals. So look at your trading plan and decide what you want to do. All right. Okay. So pass the time now to Z to cover the last stock for today.
Thank you, Bervyn. Okay, so the last stock that I have before we move on to share our bonus stock, right, will be from Ian, right? Ian, I hope you're still here. You're asking about Wilmar. Thoughts on Wilmar, support resistance level per 1GT, and what entry price to accumulate to DCA, dollar cost average down, bought at 299 for more dividends. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, so for Wilmar, right, if we take a look at this stock, right, actually this stock has not been performing very well since 2021. Now, we also have clients or mentees that is coming to us and say, I bought many years back, but I'm still holding, but I don't really know what to do now. You probably should have already cut loss right at the start when it actually go down, right? And because the downtrend, you can see right over here, right, prices have just been forming lower highs, basically. If I don't need to draw the line, you guys can see the high was here, go to here, go to here. It just keeps forming lower high, right? And then since 2024, it started to stabilize a little, right? But still not that great because the longer term trend, right, is still down because we see that the blue is still above the red, right? Ideally, we want the opposite, right? The green above the red and above the blue, but now this is still opposite. Even though it's kind of like stabilizing and going sideways, right? From 2024 onwards. So then it just kind of like just going sideways within a range of about like this 280, which is one of the support zone that I've drawn, the support level. And the other one is about this $3.30 right over here, right? So it has kind of like just been within these levels, right? 280 and about 330, right? And it just kind of like goes sideways. All the moving averages, longer term trends started to go sideways as well. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see. So you see the red and the blue line kind of like just crisscross each other and just kind of like go sideways. Then short-term trend has a mind of its own, right? It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, as usual, right? And what happened, and maybe you can take a look at what has been happening recently, over the past couple of months, right? So over here, if we look at just purely the trend, maybe you guys can help me to help Ian out as well, right? Based on the trend over here, this moving average, do you think it's up or down? Like right over here, over the past, maybe just 1 month we can see that the blue is above the red and is above the green. Is the trend up or down? Maybe you guys can let me know in the chat. U for up, D for down. What do you guys think of this trend, right, for Wilmar? Is it up or down? Let me see. Let me see in the chat. Jimmy down, ET down, Ada down, Cheong down, Alex D. Okay, a lot of you guys was mentioning D, D for down. I will also agree with you guys that, the trend for Wilmar now is actually down, right? It's not so good, right? Because why? The blue is above the red and it's above the green, right? And they're actually pointing down, they're pointing down. So not that great, right? Not that great. And what we also see here, right, is that we also got 1GT bearish signal, right? 1GT bearish signal coming out. Let me just pull out Ian's chat again. Let me see, where is it? Let me see. Maybe the team can help me pull out Ian's chat. But okay, so anyway, we got 1GT bearish signal, right? And the trend is actually down, right? And we know that the key support level that I've mentioned earlier on, that it has been trading within the range, right? It's about 280, right? The support right here is about 280. Right, and recently prices tested this 280 again, but it has rebounded up, right? But the trend is still not looking too good, right? Because if I were to look at the 6 months period, just maybe don't have to go too far, start from 2025 to where we are at now. Do you see that the highs of the price is actually also forming like lower high? You see right over here, right? It still haven't break above the previous high yet. So it's still not so good. It's still not so good. And immediate resistance wise, I would say it will be at this $3. I think what for me, right, I want to monitor if price can actually break and hold above the $3 for me to can at least finally say hey, the high, right, finally break above this $3 because now it's still below, right? If it can break above this $3, then perhaps that's where you can actually relook at the stock again. But at this point in time, I think not so much, right? Because it is still down. We get a 1GT bearish signal, and the price is still not forming a high that is higher than the previous one, right? And this support level, right? I think Ian, this is where you can actually take note of this support level, because if it does break below this support level, then I think potentially we might see more weakness, right? Returning back to this stock, like, because if it breaks below the 280, right? I think all of the 3 moving averages I will continue to point out. And your question was, sorry, wait, where's your question again? I think your question was asking about buying to accumulate for dividends, right? Dollar cost average down. So the thing is that we usually refrain from dollar cost averaging down, because when you buy towards when it's going down, right, you think that it's cheaper and cheaper, and you keep buying, right, just because you want to accumulate the dividends. You get dividend one side, but then the other side, your capital, right, for the stock actually goes out. So it doesn't make sense. Don't just focus on the dividend, but we also need to take a look at the trend. All right. So for this, Wilmar, I think for now, based on the 1GT framework and the strategy, I think this is, you can put on the hold first. Don't have to rush in, right? Don't have to rush in to think about like dollar cost averaging just because you think that, hey, the price is actually cheaper than a couple of months back, right? Because we want to wait for more signs of it, for it to turn more positive first, have a 1GT bullish signal breaking above the $3, forming newer highs. Then maybe that is where then potentially we might want to relook at the stock again. Okay, Ian, I hope that helps to give you a better picture of Wilmar based on the 1GT framework and the strategy. And I think now I'll pass the time back to Joey to actually share about our bonus stock for today.
All right, thank you so much. So I think, yes, that's it, guys. I think we have covered. Let me just go to do a quick run through, right? Quick run through of the stocks we have covered so far before we talk about 3 bonus stocks at the end, right? 3 bonus stocks at the end. So very quickly, what happens is that right at the beginning, we covered the STI, the Straits Times Index. I talk about, why are we seeing bullishness over the past few weeks, all right? I mean, led by the banks and some of the news flow that have came out as well, that have led the STI to an all-time high, all right? Of course, with DBS pushing higher as well, we've seen more strength in the market, right? So we covered the STI. So in case you missed, I think some of you are actually asking about the same stocks again, right? So we will not be covering the stocks. I mean, you can check out the replay. You can check out the replay on the YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, follow button right at the top right now. Show some love and right, and you can find the video as well easily. So hit the like and subscribe button so you can watch the replay. And when we go live as well, you will be notified as well, right? So the very first stock I covered today was Centurion. Number 2, IFAST, LHN, CNMC Goldmine. I think some of you asked about CNMC Goldmine later as well, right? Polo Marine, LIONOCBC Securities, right? We have YZJ Shipbuilding, Banyan 3, SGX, SETS, right? SATS, SETS, Seatrium, DBS, Sembcorp Industries, Valuetronics, number 14. Number 15, finally, Z just covered Wilmar. All right, and there we go. That would be the 15 stocks. So yeah, it's kind of like what we targeted today, 15 stocks. Same thing, guys. My apologies, our apologies if we cannot cover all the stocks that you guys put in the comment. There's on quick count. You can see, guys, we are like trying to find the comment to put it in the screen, because sometimes it's just like hidden all the way. There's like more than 60 over stocks, more than 200, 300, 400 chat messages. All right, it takes time for us to find. So my apologies, guys, if we cannot cover your more than 60 over stocks they put, but I hope that the 15 stocks that we've covered are we have benefited most of you, some of you over here, all right, and really added value to you as well, right? How many of you have got value, type of V, type V for value, guys? If you got value in today's session, right, type V for value, let me know. All right, got value in today's session, you learned something about the mindset, about the strategy, about your stocks, you get a bit better opinion as well. Type V for value, let me know, right? If you got value today. And this is what keeps us, driving us, to do more and more of this AMAS, right? Let us know you've got value, right? Value. Thank you so much as well, Catherine, Vincent. All right, Dave, value. Thanks for spelling it out as well. Pauline, all right, Ida, George. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So really glad that all of you guys got value today. All right. So now let's go into the next segment, and that would be the 3 bonus stock that me, Bervyn and Zee will share with you guys today. So each of us will share one, so 3 of us here. So there'll be 3 bonus stocks that you could put in your watch list for potentially more upside in the Singapore market. So in fact, right, some of you who are asking about the stocks right just now, and if yours, I don't know, yours might be in the bonus. That's why we purposely skip it, because we'll be covering 2 times now, right? So maybe, just maybe, the stocks that you asked are actually in the bonus. All right, go ahead to find out. So let me go ahead to share my screen right now for the very first bonus stock for today, all right, right over here, okay? Now, this stock is called Propnex, right? Propnex. I think some of you are asking about Propnex, right? Let me see, right? We have, okay, I think your comments is all the way hidden up above. Never mind, all right? But I think there were 3 or 4 comments asking about Propnex. But let's take a look at it right now. This Propnex at $2.57. So you can see, right, very quickly, Propnex has been one of the stocks that we have shared with our clients in Phillip Securities a couple of months back, right? Just move up by, I would say, from 110, 120, 150, all the way up to $2.57. You can see, right, we had a couple of bullish signals coming out right over here in June, July, another one, and there we go, all the way up, right? From here to where we are right now, 156%, 156% in 3 months. 156% in 3 months. How many feel that this is pretty powerful? Type P for powerful, guys. If you feel that 156% in 3 months, not 3 years, 3 months, is pretty powerful, right? And you're okay with 156%, right? Type P for powerful, guys. Let me know if that's powerful for you. Let me know. Type P for powerful if you find that 156% is powerful enough. Right, P, very good, right? So yeah, 156%, right? I think pretty powerful move for Propnex, but let's see if there could be more powerfulness, right? Still playing out, right? So let's go to find out. So you can see, right, bullish signals came out. We have sent out a note to our clients a couple of times. As I say, guys, you know, for this stock, in fact, not just for this stock, but for some of those top Singapore ideas that you want to get on a daily basis by WhatsApp, all right? Make sure, we do have a lot of clients joining us every single Friday, but for some of you, you might just be, you know, just joining us live for the very first time, second time, you have no idea what is this about, all right? You're probably not a client of mine yet, getting our ideas daily by WhatsApp. Check it out, the link is right in the chat, right? Find out how you can get some of those ideas on a daily basis by WhatsApp for free. Yes, for free, all right? At no additional cost. You pretty much pay the same as whatever you pay when you're trading, right? So you need a trading account to buy and sell stocks, right? So I don't know where you're trading, but if you're just like logging into a platform, online website, mobile app, and you just own self see, own self do, and you'll take on one stock, then I think, you know, at least get some ideas for free at no additional cost, right? The link is right in the chat. Click on it, especially if your own broker is not doing anything, or maybe you don't even have a broker, right? It's just an online thing. You own self log in and own self buy yourself. All right, check it out. Link is right in the chat, right? So at least you can get some service ideas, private trainings for free, right, from me and my team. Okay, Ken? Okay, now let's go talk about Propnex. Lillian, right? Can still buy Propnex? Is it above $2.50? Yes, that's what we saw, right? Another comment. So you can see right now, guys, that after 153 or 50%, all right, upside in about 3 months, over the past few days, in fact, I would say that today, all right, today, it seems like we are seeing an attempt to break the $2.50 psychological resistance level, right? So we got the bullish signal in June, right? All the way up. Somewhere around mid of September, it became a bit boring, right? 250 was a psychological resistance, right? Every time we hit to 250 lah, 248, 47, 49, 45, and then it come down, cannot go above 250. But is that bad? I think it's okay. I mean, 150%, let it rest a bit, okay, right? Why must it really go up, right? Let it rest a bit, you know, take a nap first, right? Rest a bit, right? And then gather enough momentum, strength for the next upward move. So normally what we see is like we like to see stocks, you know, move up, and then we consolidate, right? Below a resistance level. And that's where you could take some profit near the 250, right? 245, 248, whatever. Take some profit, let it rest a bit, and get ready for the next move if it proves itself to be strong again. If we get a new bullish signal again, all right? Has it happened? Well, it seems like finally today, right? I mean, the day has not ended yet, all right? So, I mean, now it's what time? Now it's 12:45 p.m., lunchtime, right? So it's probably not moving right now because it's lunchtime. But the point is that if, all right, by the end of today, as I said, I don't know whether 5 p.m. what it close, but if by end of today or maybe next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? If I say again, if we can go above that 250, I mean, now we are already above that, but staying above is nothing, right? If we stay above the 250, we go to 255, 258, 260, 261, 263, whatever, right? That is where potentially, right, we have this new bullish signal that could potentially play out. And that's where targets could be revised. I would say maybe all the way to $3, first to 350, it would be the next upside phase. Does it make sense, Bob? All right, and that's where there could be more upside momentum. So that's the reason why I want to share with you guys this stock today, because for the past 1 over month, it has been resting. All right, the green 20 days moving average line that was pointing up, right, that led the 150% upside started to flatten out. Boring, right? However, it seems like it's just woken up, right? Just only, all right, and I'm not too sure whether it will stay above 150, the 250 today. If it does, good, it will be added confirmation. If you get a bullish candlestick, which is still happening right now, by the end of the day, even better. If the green 20 days moving average line that we are looking at right now, all right, also starts to, you can see a little bit, right? If it starts to also point up as well as another confirmation on top of the bullish signal, even better. All that could point to more signs of the next upward phase, all right? And that would be for PropNext, right? One of the stocks that we have shared with our clients in Philip Securities, right? Team, can just place the link in the chat again, all right? In fact, I think I got my team to send out a note like today or what, yeah. So yeah, if you want to get some of those ideas, check out the link right in the chat. You can get some of these ideas for free, much faster by WhatsApp daily, or at no additional cost, all right? So this is PropNext. Let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover his top bonus Singapore stock for today. Bervyn, all yours.
All right, thanks, Joey. Let me just share my screen right here. Hold on. Looks like my screen share is showing up some issues. All right. Okay, there we go. Change the banner right here. Okay, so my bonus stock, I think, very simply will be Keppel Corp. In one of those stocks that one of those blue chip stocks that have seen a little bit, sorry, not a little bit, a very good run up since April of this year. Let's just see that it's a close to a 58% growth in a span of about 6 months or so. So I think right now, I think Keppel Corp is looking like it's moving a little bit sideways. But what I want to actually just point out is the longer term trend is still very, very much intact. The 20 days moving average very steadily just moving up alongside that 100 and 200 days moving average that is very, very clearly also very gently pointing up. So I think that is what we want to look for, especially if you're looking for something for a longer term, a longer time horizon, something that you can hold for a longer period with dividends as well. So I think Keppel will fit that that description or that criteria of yours. So I think most recently, let me zoom in for a little bit. Most recently, we actually saw that prices have actually broken above that $9 resistance level, now actually turning into a support. This was after on the 23rd of September, actually received an early 1 GT bullish signal. Prices moved a little bit sideways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days for about 7 trading days before breaking higher. So I would not expect much buying to actually happen here, but as you can see, when prices break above a key resistance, that is where buyers would like to come in. Buyers would like to come in there. Of course, if you say you bought closer to 890, definitely you will be sitting on a little bit more profits as compared to those that bought about 904, 905. For sure, right? Their cost price is higher than yours. But what you got to take note is they have a little bit more confirmation here. Like right now, we have a little bit more confirmation that this $9 resistance have now turned into a $9 psychological support. So where would the next upside be? Because Keppel is at a all-time high. So how would we do this? Like we said, right here, just a little bit of a projection. All right, 850, the temporary support, the prices consolidated close to that level. Just project a little bit upwards. All right, I would place the immediate, all right, that immediate resistance right around that $9.50 level. So any accumulation, or if you're looking to accumulate on the dips, I think somewhere close to that $9 level, you can have some alerts being set up to just let yourself know that, hey, maybe it's time to position yourself for an entry. And if prices approach that 950 level, for those of you who have been holding some of Keppel shares for a while now, hey, nothing wrong to take some profits or reduce a little bit of exposure there. Some are not all. to continue to ride that uptrend. All right, continue to ride that uptrend. So the next potential level I would like to also watch out for is if there is a break above that 950 level, where I would say that next target level will be or can be drawn up towards that $10 level, So I think Keppel Corp still looking very, very good at this point. We still have two 1GT bullish signals that were in place since April of this year. One of the better performing blue chip stocks this year alongside a few of those other ones. But I would like to just recommend, if you do not have Keppel on your watch list yet, you can start to place it on your watch list. I think there is a continued potential as long as prices hold above that new $9 support. All right, so that is for Keppel, my bonus stock for today. Pass the time to Z now to cover the last bonus stock for today.
Thank you, Bervyn. Okay, so let me share my screen. And all right, so the last bonus stock from me that I would like to share with you guys today, that will be none other than SPDR Gold share. So I'm actually quite surprised that nobody actually really asked about this particular stock, or maybe I missed it lah. Okay, but then this is the bonus stock that I want to share with you guys, because if you guys are aware or you guys have been receiving emails, from news outlet, right? You probably would have heard that gold recently have reach our all-time high right? Reach our all-time high. And this stock, right, I think we have also covered a couple of times back as our bonus stock a couple of months back in the US market and also in the Singapore market, right? So for today, right, this stock, the one that I'm sharing, right, it is listed in the Singapore Stock Exchange, okay? And the code is 087, but it also exactly tracks the US, the gold price, okay? So if you want to have gold exposure, but you don't want to touch the US market, you want to be in the Singapore market, this is one of the options that you can consider, right? Remember, the code is 087. Okay, before I dive into this stock, right, I just want to show you a very quick thing right over here, right? So I have already clicked it and I already opened it right over here. So as you guys can see, before I dive into gold, you can see that this guy, right, Ray Dalio, if you guys have not already heard about him, he's actually the founder of one of the very big hedge fund, Bridgewater Associate, right? And he says that your portfolio deserves 15% of gold, but not I say one, that one is he say one, he say putting up 15% of gold in their portfolio. So I'm not telling you to put 15%, but what I'm agreeing with him here is that gold is definitely a excellent diversifier, right? But I'm not saying to put 15%, but it is a good thing to diversify in your portfolio, at least a bit, right? A bit. Don't have to be 15%, don't have to follow him say 15%, but just a little bit, right? Because as you guys know that gold is kind of like it is a inflationary hedging instrument, right? And also it holds the value, right, when there's inflation and debt pressure in the economy, which is what he's saying today, right? Like today's environment is very much like the early 1970s, whereby there's rising government spending, high debt, and weakening US dollars, right? And also, like what I mentioned earlier on, the gold future briefly crossed 4,000 very recently, right? Signaling the continued investor demand in this commodity, all right? So with that, okay, let's take a look at gold, right? Let's take a look at gold. And this is the gold that is listed in the Singapore Stock Exchange. I repeat, listed in the Singapore Stock Exchange, but it still very much tracks the gold spot price very, very closely. GRT has extremely close relationship with the spot price, okay? So let's take a look at this. So this stock, right, this stock right over here, definitely I don't have to talk about the trend now. All of you guys can see that the trend is very much intact since when, let me see, actually since somewhere even in 2023, 2024, you can see the longer term uptrend, right, actually is very intact really, right? The rate is actually above the blue. It retested it somewhere here, but it actually went all the way up and then it just continued to surge up, and this is where we are at right now, right? And with that, we also have a 1GT bullish signal that's still playing out. There is no bearish signal, right? There's no bearish signal. And the trend still looks very intact. So the key thing, right? The key thing is that for gold, right, a lot of people have been also asking us, like, Mentis and client, gold has been going up so much. When can I actually enter? What price to actually look at to buy? Like you see right over here, prices have been consolidating sideways since April to September, and that's actually a good thing, right? Because when it consolidates, longer term trend still up, right? Longer term trend is still good. It consolidates, it makes the uptrend even more sustainable, and now it break out again and it's going up, right? It's going up. So when it's going up, then I think one thing that you can actually make use of definitely will be this, right? The trailing support and resistance function, which I've also shown you guys earlier, right? Because prices have been going up. The trailing support function will also trail the price as it moves up, accounting for the volatility, right? And we all know that this is in an uptrend. We want to buy near where? Near a support, right? Trailing support, is it a support? Yes, it is a support, and it's a dynamic support that follows the prices as it moves up, right? So we want to, so right over here, right, you can see that the trading support is somewhere about 355, right? So potentially you want to set some price near the trading support, right? When prices actually retrace back to the trading support level, that's where you can potentially position yourself for entry. Because what we want to catch or what we want to look out for would be something like that, right? You see, prices back here, price actually also surged up, right? But then after it started to hit sideways, is there a bearish signal? No, did it go near the trading support? Yes, right? It did went to the trading support. This is what we want to catch near the trading support, and then that's where you see subsequently price continue to head up higher. Okay, so the key thing is we want to buy, but we don't want to anyhow buy. We want to buy near a support, and based on now the closest support, right, whereby we can actually get towards, right, would be around this 355, this zone, maybe 355 to about 360, right? This could be one of the potential support zone to look for if you are thinking about entering for this counter, right? I mean, of course, the other support zone, where will it be? It will be at here lah, 320, right? But the thing is that I don't know, now price is at 365. I don't know whether the price will go back all the way down to 320 for you to actually get in. I'm not sure, right? I'm not sure. But if it suddenly plunge down like that, you also a bit scared. You also won't want to get in at 320 anymore, right? So the thing is that if we were to enter near the trading support, of course, entering is one thing, right? You got to think about your downside. You got to think about your risk. That's where you also got to remember to place your stop loss to manage your downside, right? It could be maybe a 2%, 3%, because this is gold, right? And maybe this is, by the way, this is in US dollars. Even though it's listed in Singapore Stock Exchange, here, what they are reflecting is in US dollars. So maybe you can give it maybe about a 2 to 3%, right? Range below the trading support to give it extra room for give it more chance, right? Because if let's say prices were to break below the trading support and below the additional chance that you give, right? Then that's where perhaps you want to take some action to actually reduce some exposure for this, right? But at this point in time, for now, I think it still look pretty good, right? It still look pretty good. It still look pretty bullish for gold as well. And I think the upside that we have actually drawn over here will be towards 400, right? Because right now gold definitely is at all-time high, right? There isn't like a consolidation happening at this point in time, right? All the way from 1st September to where we are, prices have just been going up. So I think what would be good if that over the past next couple of weeks or even months, right, if we can actually see this happening, right, even better, right? Even better. And then I think potential upside, we have drawn up to 400 right over here, as we believe that this is one of a psychological level that you can take note of And during psychological level, like 400, this kind of level, we would not be surprised if there's selling pressure or sellers queuing there to actually let go of the stock to take some profits. All right, so I hope this helps to give you guys some ideas about for gold, and something for you guys to think about, right? Especially like the zones for you to take note of. Okay, so yeah, with that, I'll pass the mic back over to Joey to close off today's session.
All right, thank you so much, Z. All right, so pretty much, guys, there we have it. These are the three bonus stocks from me, Bervyn and Zee, right, today. And the first one would be from me, right, Propnex, right, Propnex. Bervyn covered Keppel, right, Keppel. And finally, Z covered SPDR Gold shares, right, SPDR Gold shares. And I saw one question on the SPDR as well. All right, look at it right up here. Yatri, you're asking, right, is 087 or this GSD the same category? Yes, indeed, right? They're the same category. Basically, both tickers refer to the same SPDR Gold shares that is listed on the Singapore Exchange. Let me just show you right over here. Right? You can see, right? So Z covered the 087. That one is 365 US dollar. The code is 087, right? That's the one that is, in US dollar. However, if you want the one that is in Singapore dollar, yes, right, same thing. We have another one. You can see it's slightly more expensive because it's in Singapore dollar, so it's like 474 Sing dollars. But the chart looks the same. It looks the same, right? Now the code for that would be like what you mentioned, Yatri, GSD. So both of them refers to the same exact SPDR Gold shares ETF that tracks the gold prices, right? They're all listed on SGX, just that one is US dollar, one is Singapore dollar. Does it make sense, Bob? All right, so yes, there we have it. I hope it's a bit clearer right now. So let me go here. I think there's some questions one more time, right? We have I like those. May I know what website do you use to see these charts? A very good question. Basically, our charts are on TradingView, right? TradingView, that's where my 1GT Pro indicator, right? The pretty much the whole strategy, the one good trend strategy is based, right? The 1GT Pro indicator is based on TradingView, right? So TradingView is a very powerful charting platform, a lot of features, and that's where I built the entire one good trend Pro indicator, right? So I like turtles. If you want to find a bit more about the indicator, about the entire strategy, that brings me to the next thing I want to share with you guys again, in case, the link is all the way hidden on top. Well, I want to share with you guys about the book launch, right? Very quickly, the book launch that we are doing for the very final time. We will be going live, all right, for the book launch next Saturday on the 18th of October, all right, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Well, I'll be talking about this thing called the One Good Trend Secrets book launch, right? We'll go live for 6 hours. Guys. The first few hours to share and break it all down for you in terms of the checklist, the strategy. We look at some live case studies, demo, some of the stock that you guys are asking about as well. Then we're going to Q&A, whereby you can ask us any questions regarding the strategy as well. And after that, we'll have the last 2 hours will be on the AMAS as well. That's where we'll be pretty much doing something like what we're doing today, but slightly different, right? We'll be covering not just like either Singapore or US, but it could be any asset classes, all right? And we could turn on the One Good Trend Pro indicator to help you as well. So that's what we'll be doing for the full entire 6 hours, 18 October, right, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. What you can do is to click on the link in the chat, all right? You'll come to this page right over here, right over here. Let me just show you my screen. 6 hours live, zero fluff. Join us in One Good Trend Secrets. We'll be live in this studio, right? Me, my team, Bervyn and Zee. And that's pretty much where you come to click on this very first green button right here. Reserve my front row seat. Name and email, join us live, and that's where I'll show you guys how to get a book, all right? Break it all down for you in the strategy as well. And also, by joining us live, right, you actually get bonuses, right? Look at this, right? A taste of the bonuses live only. Basically, I'm going to give out more than $7,000 worth of bonuses just for joining us live and getting this book as well over there. All right, Ken? So do join us, all right? Next Saturday, 18 October, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., right? Bervyn and Zee, anything to add on the book before we add today's session?
Okay.
I think there's a comment saying where's my copy. So Yatri, my copy is actually I forgot about it. I left it in the office, but I do have a copy. It's in the office.
He has a lot of copies.
Correct. This one correct.
Okay, so there we have it. That's a copy right there. All right. Yes. So join us live, and we do have a limited copy. You can see right over here. We have only about 200 plus copies. All right. We're not looking to reprint it anytime, but do join us, and we share with you guys how you can get these very limited, all right, copies of the One Good Trend Secrets before it's all gone. Then I'm sorry. All right, Ken. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. That's it. I think we have pretty much come to the end of today's AMAS sessions. Thank you so much for joining us every single Friday. Lovely session. Thank you so much, Yatri. Always nice to learn. Awesome, right? So we'll see you guys in the next AMAS on Friday as well. Next Friday, we'll have a last AMAS, all right? But next Saturday will be the book launch. Make sure you join us then as well. Thank you so much, Vincent. All right. Thank you so much, Kunam as well. We have, let's see, right? Dave, thank you as well. Doris, thank you. All right. Have a good weekend, guys. We'll see you next Friday and also next Saturday for the book launch. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everyone.